What's up, everyone? We are here live with HX and Joao. Let's first introduce both of them. So, HX, quickly tell the viewers who you are and where they can find you.
Do I hear you in your fault me or?
You are crackling. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm having issues hearing you both.
Oh, no.
It's kind of broken the audio.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
Discord
I'm
problem.
having issues hearing you guys.
Okay, 1 second.
And that came out of nowhere.
Okay, 1 second. Let me try to fix
it.
it.
On Discord, but
It is a Discord issue. I think it's with the cameras.
hello?
Hello, hello?
I stopped hearing you properly.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay,
Perfect.
yeah. My heart. Okay,
Okay.
so let's do this again.
Okay.
Hello,
Okay.
guys. I'm here
We
with
can hear you now.
HX and Joao. We had some small technical difficulties
Hello.
again, but hopefully
Usual.
it stays with that. But yeah, HX, can you real quick introduce yourself? And Discord broke again. Okay.
Do you want to do this through Slack?
Yeah, maybe, but then I have to set it up again. 1 second. Oh, this is frustrating. I'm gonna try to do it without the cameras. 1 second, guys. Okay. Hello, hello. Can you hear me now? I can't join the call. Cool. Hello. This. Apparently, Discord is the thing that is making my stream break. Everything was running fine, but apparently not anymore. Let's try this again. There's no one in the call. This is cooked. Yeah, Ace, this is very cooked. Oh man, every stream is going fine, and then in the AMA one it breaks. I don't know what happens, but fail to start camera. Okay, maybe through Slack. 1 second. I'll try to call through Slack and see if that works instead of Discord. It is live. Yes, that's why we have technical difficulties again, unfortunately. I'll try to call through here. Question is, can I... Hello. Question is, can I see them in the thing? I'm so sorry, guys. I fixed everything, but apparently it breaks right when we start the stream. Try to join the call there again.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
This works now.
Okay.
It's good.
It works, but I don't know why it's breaking.
So
let me try it again.
I don't know. As soon as we started streaming, it really became robotic. We had 15
Yeah.
minutes of pure normal talk, and all of a sudden,
and I know. I'm trying this again.
So far, so good. Did you restart your live?
No, the live didn't stop, did it?
Okay.
No, the live never stopped. We're still live, guys. I'm sorry, Joao is an AI. Imagine. Imagine. Okay.
So I turn on again.
Yeah. I'll try to pop out the screen again. Maybe I should not pop out the screen and just do it like this, but the problem is I can't capture it this way. Yeah, let me try to pop it out again and hope it doesn't break. Check, check. Okay.
Looks good. We had a good ping on Discord. It just, I don't know, started robotic.
Okay. Okay. It's fixed, I think. Let's hope it's this way. I'm so sorry, guys. But
Yeah.
once more time,
Don't jinx it.
I'm here with HX and Joao today for the AMA. So HX, without any further ado, can you introduce yourself, who you are, and where people can find you?
Well, hello, Expectation. Yes, so known a bit as a content creator within the MOCO scene. I prefer saying I'm a dedicated player than a content creator, but I've been playing the game since day one and still enjoying it today. Very glad to be part of this AMA with you and Joao. I'll give you back the word.
Okay. And Joao, for the people that don't know who you are, can you explain it a little bit?
Of course, yeah. I am Joao. I'm MOCO's community manager since we launched the game last year. Here to answer your questions, mostly the Reddit and Discord ones, because we kicked off the AMA there. And happy to be here with you guys and talk about MOCO and maybe play a bit as well. Let's see.
Thank you.
Okay, with all that said, if the audio levels are not good yet, please let me know and I will tweak them. Before we go into the AMA, I want to say we're going to go over the Reddit and the Discord ones first. But feel free to ask questions in the chat as well. If I see some, I might put them in the video as well. But please be respectful. It's okay to have negative feedback, but say it in a respectful way. So no cursing or insulting the cast or the devs. That's all I'm asking. And yeah, if there's more time near the end, we'll focus a bit more on the chat from the stream itself as well. Okay. So with all that said, I'll give the word to HX with the questions.
Yeah, so how we're going to do it from what I understood is that Xpect you're the host overall. I will be trying to go through the questions and then Joao will get massively questioned. I hope you will have good answers. Starting with the Reddit, I think we can start straight away. And you said you wanted to do it by upvotes. So I'm here on Reddit. I sorted them by the top upvotes, and I guess we'll just go through them, at least the first 10 on Reddit. The first one I'm seeing is from Kevin Still Grind MOCO. So first of all, great that you still grind MOCO. That asks 5 different questions. So I guess we can go through a lot of different points. First of all, the first one being, when would weapon balance changes are available to the game? A lot of weapons right now are dominated by Technofest for rifts or for maximum DPS, single target. Other weapons in their current state feel too weak because they don't deal enough damage. He's using the examples of Singularity, Wolfsake, Vibe Shifter, but also many others. So maybe adding some buffs or nerfs to Counter League would solve the problem. And so yeah, overall a when balance change question, to which I want to kind of go a bit further. Not only when, but if there are to be balance changes, how often would you want to implement them?
Of course, yeah. First of all, just to explain how this works. So last week, I announced an AMA on Reddit and Discord. And the goal is to answer the at least the most popular and the most upvoted questions, because the theory is that the most upvoted are the ones that people resonate more with. So it represents more the community sentiment, of course. And so I'm happy to go through as many questions as possible, and as long as Expectation and HX have me here, of course. But of course, we're going to prioritize the most upvoted ones, as might be the ones that the community feels more. And now going directly through the question. So I guess it's going to be a lot of questions from the same user, but I'm going to start with the balance changes. Yeah, so right now, maybe it's not the answer that you're looking for, but we don't have balance changes coming through that soon. I agree that balance changes are good for the game to make the weapon meta alive and all of that. At the same time, I think the team is also trying to filter out what is influencing certain weapon usage. We know for a fact, or at least we feel for a fact, that when we for example, when we went through boss-only rifts, Techno 3 became more dominant as well, because the rifts became a bit more, how do I say, more unidimensional. But I can also say that from Season 2, Week 3, so we are now on Week 2, right?
Yep.
So next week, we're going to have new rifts with more varied rifts. I don't know if you noticed, I think it was 2 days ago that we had a daily rift with some gate, which was the double hopper. that we're going to implement with we much more rift, and we're going to do a bit more variety in rift, which hopefully will shake things up a bit and make the weapon variety a bit more. That doesn't mean that balance changes are not important. I agree they are, but also we are looking into so much things right now, being a new game and so many things in our priority list that I think balance changes will naturally come more frequently. Hopefully, every season. That's something that I would like to have. But I also understand that there's so many things in our list and our priorities that these things that are still big, but not as big as the big changes that we still want to implement in the game, kind of become a bit less on the bottom of priority list, or at least not as much on the top. But I got you guys, and we'll make it happen more frequently because I know that's important. But I also want to ask you, how do you feel that is this something unsolvable? The techno tree dominance. Do you feel that it's changing already? And do you think like different rifts will require needs for different weapons? How do those both of you feel?
I'll let you start, HX.
So first of all, coming back to these gates that have been implemented in Double Hop and the Daily Rift, I've seen a lot of positive feedback overall. Everyone was very happy to see them. And when you talk about the way the meta evolves, yes, because we had so many single boss fight DPS, you only had to go single target DPS, and so Fizz wins it all. I think that overall, no matter the balance changes, you will also always have a one weapon, no matter the meta, that will be above the rest when it comes to single target DPS. So it will be the best one, and everyone will ask for a nerf. And this is why starting to see these gaze, or in this week we have rooftop guarding, for example, that is a rift with finally a run up, and actually Fizz is maybe not the meta here.
Yeah.
But then comes the other problem of something else becomes the meta. So as long as you said, the rifts have more than just one dimension and add some depth, I would understand that you don't need balance changes that soon, but overall they are definitely needed, and once per season would be great if they could come ASAP.
Yeah, to comment on that, yeah, I agree with you. And if there's always a dominant single target DPS weapon, then it's better that it's always a different one, of course. And with balance changes, of course, you can achieve that more easily. But also we are also focused on. Oh, I saw just a logo coming up on the screen. We're also focused on. We're also focused on also trying different things with the content and make the content more varied, so we can first see how much that changes the meta a bit instead of jumping right into balance changes, which will maybe solve the problem temporarily. But if then there's no variety in the content that pushes you to use different weapons, that then the balance changes won't solve that issue permanently. So it's a bit of both. I agree that the balance changes are important, and it will be more clear for us later to do those more consistently as soon as we also figure out what kind of content resonates best and all of that.
I feel like we need some extra layers on the wrist. For example, this weapon has increased damage or something, or decreased damage, like some buffs and nerfs to a weapon for like a specific rift, so that it's not always Technofist, it can be another weapon as well, because Technofist, for example, has 30% less damage or is less good in that rift, something like that, so like elements or something. And I still think one of the reasons also why Technofist is also good is because of the cores. Crit cores are very dominant, but the problem with it is that you really need good crits to really grind the leaderboards out. So it's becoming more a way of like whoever gets the most crits and whoever has the best boss animation RNG, you will be higher on the leaderboard. So playtime is more rewarded than skill, basically. So I think that's also something to look into, other than just the weapon specific, but also like the core. The crit core is like chance based, you know. That's something
I just want to say RNG is a question we will have later, I think. But
okay.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to dabble in that.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can move on to the next question. Unless Joao wants to add something.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No. I was just curious. Do you guys play with randoms a lot?
Sometimes
Like
dailies.
randoms.
Daily rifts, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel that masteries changed the weapon usage a bit, in a way that are people using different weapons just to clear their masteries instead of going Technofists all the time, for example?
Oh, they do. But
Definitely.
like myself as well, like I do every single rift with the mastery weapons just to get my mastery up as fast as possible. So that mastery update
Of
was
course.
very good to give us more variety for sure. But in means of leaderboard, it doesn't really change much, right?
Yeah.
So for play and casual play and like more content and playing longer, that's for sure like super good. But for like the leaderboard things, it really doesn't really offer anything else for the leaderboard plays. I would say like that. But it's definitely a great addition. Like I had a lot of fun playing. I even streamed it, I think, like 4 or 5 hours doing all of them, like a weekly ones. And we had so much fun because some are just, yeah, very hard to do with the vibe shift or something. And yeah, it was very interesting
Yeah.
to play. So, Jax?
It's cool to hear.
Yeah, so when I do my masteries, if it's on the daily rift, I could do it with random, but mostly I can't find teammates. I do see complaints of people talking about the randoms being kind of bad, but most of the time, if it's not a really hard rift, no, but yeah, you gotta say what you gotta say. The randoms are just sometimes have interesting decisions, but most of the time you can still get through them. And I also think it's a problem right now, since everyone has 10 masteries to do. It feels like a lot, and so almost a chore for some people, but overall, over time, we'll have less and less weapons, and so people will spread out their mastery grinding more and more. I don't think it's much of an issue.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think we can move on to the next question then.
Yeah.
So is there a way to increase maximum player capacity in expedition maps? Right now, the player cap is way too small for us to join OCM cycles. This is kind of related to the group chat. So there are alert groups in which people call out their overcharged or mega charged monsters, and or for a lot of the time, it says cannot join, the target location is full because the world is too small, or there are just way too many people that try to join in. Are you planning to do something regarding this part?
Yeah, so I'm seeing here two questions. I'm going to go for the second one. Yeah, we agree that the callouts are far from ideal, and needs a, let's say, a good good feature that makes the callouts much easier, because the way that it is, it's not fun or sustainable, and most of the time you can join them because they're expired or fake or whatever it is. And for sure we have that on our target. But yeah, I agree that the callouts right now, they don't work. They simply don't work well, and we need to improve on that. The other question, the first question was about the number of players
Yeah, in the world.
on open areas. Yeah, I can tell you why we decided to go with less players this time. This was mostly to support the new direction where the gameplay is a bit more twitchy and immersive, and without the areas and without the red areas, which the need for you to see what's happening and to read the monster becomes higher, which means that a higher volume of players would make that readability lower. But of course, I actually flagged this today with the team, and started discussing that with the team, because that's a question of priority. What's more priority in open areas? Is it like Twitch gameplay? Is it more the social aspect and having more people to farm? The good thing is that with Neo MOCO, because the game is much more malleable, and we are able to do changes much easier, we can always change things up a bit. So if we want to put more players, we can change with the setting. We can try different things, and yeah, who knows if we at some point we also put more players on expeditions and see how it works out. But that was the reason that we have less players. It's to make the gameplay more readable with the new, let's say, more intense direction, I'd say.
I have a follow-up question on that. Is like the call-out groups, is it something that the devs like, that people are playing the game that way, or is it something the devs don't really like that we do it? Like
No, I mean, it's not us that it's the players that should like, and if the players like the callouts and all of that, then of course that's what we are doing, to serve the players, of course. When I say that it's not working, it's because the feature is not, it's frustrating, right? Because you have the callouts and you join and they are expired or they don't work and they are fake or anything. So this is a poor experience for players. which means that if people like callouts but they are not working, then we need to fix them, of course. But it's not like we like or dislike. I think if people like and it makes the game more sociable, of course, but then we need to make the feature easier and more accessible for everyone.
It's also a point that comes back that it shouldn't be the best way to play the game, to sit there in headquarters and wait for other people to basically play for you and you join them. And most of the time you can't even do that, which kind of removes the purpose of playing overall.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this speaks louder to a bigger problem, which is expeditions, which is, of course, I mean, it's a game mode that we've been. I mean, I'd say personally, it's a bit of I don't want to say love-hate relationship because it's so fun, but at the same time, it can become a bit boring with time, and definitely it's one of those game modes where because. I mean, we hear a lot of this feedback that the game is repetitive, and I believe Expeditions is one of the biggest culprits out there because they are fun initially, and you do your jobs and everything, but because maybe there's no stakes involved, you can't really lose on Expeditions. You just go out there and farm, and if it's not done in a compelling and meaningful way, then players of course get tired, and that's something that we really deeply want to address and fix and make it better. So it's likely that we're going to expect at some point big changes on Expeditions as well.
Yep. Okay. We might want to speed up maybe a bit.
Okay.
So the third question was also linked to rifts. I think we can skip it because you also answered it when it comes to balance changes and how good they were in some rifts or not. Though the fourth question from Kevin Selgrind, which is something I've seen a lot of time. When will you guys fix the performance optimization of the game? Right now, there are phones overheating and some potato phones lagging way too much while playing the game, battery running out too quickly. So yeah, overheating, battery running out. Are there plans to fix these issues and also the crashes?
Yeah, so those issues have been fixed on the go. The difference between, let's say, new features or bug fixes and performance issues is that performance issues is an ongoing process. It's not like we release an update and suddenly there are no more performance issues. There's millions of phones and millions of devices that are different. They have different setups and work differently, which means that we almost have to go, how do I say, device by device almost, and fix those issues, and it takes some time. So every update is going to get hopefully a bit better and better. It's definitely better already than, for example, when you launched New MOCO. It's been an ongoing process, and it's going to continue being an ongoing process. So this is something that it's going to improve little by little, every update, little by little. It's a grind on itself. Not only the game, but even the performance. The performance issue, it's a grind on itself. So yeah, don't expect let's say a major improvement on one update after the other. Expect minor improvements over the time. But of course, I also want to flex something which is for mobile, and I'm going to compare with other Supercell games. That's like obvious that MOCO is quite a heavy game, has a lot of effects. It's a 3D game, big maps and all of that. And I could guess, without being very tech heavy, that a game like MOCO will always be more demanding than Clash Royale, which is a much simpler game in terms of graphics and all of that. So it's also more common, or it will be more normal that some people unfortunately might not have access to the game because of that, because the device simply doesn't support, and it's not only a performance issue. That doesn't mean that the game doesn't have a lot of issues like that. It's just that there are many topics to consider here.
I've also noticed if we're talking about performance issues, so when I'm streaming, don't really have issues with my iPads, but when I'm streaming and doing call-out groups, I did it for like 8 or 9 hours, my battery drained from like 100 to 37%. So I really feel like the groups are what's draining the most for me personally. I don't know what's up with that, but it seems like when you open the chat, it starts to like lag your game as well sometimes.
Yeah, it might be. So when I said that some devices might be also too low for MOCO. That doesn't mean that some devices that should run MOCO aren't running MOCO properly. That's a fact. Some high-end devices like iPads and I don't know what else are also having issues running MOCO. It shouldn't happen, and that's something that we really need to address. And it's going to go little by little with a lot of testing and a lot of addressing and all of that. But it will take some time. And that was a process that it was ongoing with old Co. But then with Neo MOCO, of course, it's almost a new game, so a lot of that work needs to be done again, and it's definitely not ideal, but we're on it for sure.
You call it old Co?
Yeah, that's
old Co.
Don't tell me you never heard of old Co.
I've never heard of that. I always said
no, really.
Neo. I never said old Co.
Okay, I saw that around sometimes. I think on Reddit, and now the team also uses that. We also say old Co on our internal meetings and all of that. Okay. Now it's old Co.
The TLDR would be that there will never be a big performance update, but it's more like a consistent work over time that you're consistently doing forever.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. The last question of this big thread is regarding PvP, because indeed it is quite controversial. What are you guys going to rework or remove PvP? Everyone is just spamming either the same weapon or just going full healing. For most of the players, it's not really fun, even though you don't have to play many games. And so, what are the plans regarding PvP specifically?
Yeah, I think we still went with PvP with Neo MOCO to I don't know, test things out and see how players would react. But honestly, I don't think anyone had a lot of high hopes for PvP. But also, MOCO is not a PvP game. It's not our priority. Doesn't mean that, I don't know, one day we can invest more on PvP, but it's not our priority right now. MOCO at heart, it's a PvE game. I also agree that maybe PvP shouldn't be there because it's not working well. But it's definitely not in our priorities right now to work on PvP. What we want to do is make the PvE experience better. That's the heart of MOCO. Yeah, that's basically it. What I can say about PvP. But I agree that the game mode is not. It's not there. It's not working well, and all I can say in general is that a lot of things that we're doing is mostly testing out, putting out there, and see how players react to it, and not only community feedback but also data and all of that. But yeah, I think PvP it's very half cooked. It shouldn't be in the game, in my opinion. But
I agree.
At the same time, I think the requirements just to do your quests are very like chill. So whoever doesn't want to play just plays a bit and that's it, and get over it and next.
Do you have anything to say, Xpect?
No, we basically summed it up.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think we just have to be humble.
Yeah.
Pro Stars is PvP. If you want to play PvP with Supercell, we are MOCO. It's PvE. We're fine in our world.
Is there like never gonna be a PvP in the future?
I mean, especially at this point, we can never say never. And who knows, maybe some crazy turn of events, we figure out that PvP is something that's working really well when we do some change. And you never know what's going to happen, but that's not our focus. That's not where we are going. But you never know what's going to happen in the future. You're very competitive, Expectation. Would you like to have like a very competitive PvP, or do you still prefer to compete PvE style?
I actually am missing that a bit in MOCO. I know it's a PvE game between us. Can you hear my dog? Because I don't know if you hear him bark or not. Yes, the dog has some questions.
You can bring him to the live stream. I want to see our dog.
I will bring him in my room after I answer this one. But yeah, basically, I do miss the PvP part. I always played some PvP type of games like PUBG Mobile, League of Legends Wild Rift and stuff like that. So I like beating other players. And in this system with the leaderboards, you're beating them in some way by being faster, but it doesn't feel the same as actually beating someone like 1v1 or like 5v5 or something. You don't really see that you're beating them. You just check the leaderboards like, oh yeah, I'm above them, but you don't have any idea how they played that rift or anything because everyone is gatekeeping their strategies. So yeah, it's not as fulfilling for me personally. I know there's some speedrun players who find it fulfilling, but I'm missing that, I don't know, mobile style or battle royale type of games, you know, within MOCO with like a league system where you can rank up, so you can just keep playing that ranked mode instead of like the world, for example, if you don't want to do your worlds anymore or something like that. So I'm kind of missing that, but that's just, yeah, me. Okay, I'm gonna get my dog real quick because he's seeing some strangers outside walking, I think. I'll be right back, but you can continue.
Yeah, okay.
Bring dog expectation to the live stream.
Dog expectation, all right.
Dog expectation.
So the next question is probably the one I saw the most through Discord and Reddit. I saw 14 different people asking about it.
Ooh,
So this one is from Aloch. What are your thoughts on weapon skill trees, but actually overall anything that is power progression, basically?
Yeah. So basically, what we had power progression on old the first iteration of new MOCO, we decided to remove it. There was a lot of feedback on missing that, and we added the cores, which are fine, but maybe they are not working as, or at least they are not as exciting as we would like to be. It's still a progression, of course, and some people still enjoy it and they go for it and farm for it, but it's not as compelling as it should be. So it's very likely that we're going to rework those cores to something else. If it's going to be skill trees or something else, I don't have an answer yet. But if we've been reading a lot about skill trees, I think skill trees is the most requested feature right now. So we are very open to it. I'm not saying or promising right now that we're going to do skill trees. I honestly don't know yet if we're going to go that route. I know that we want to address the upgrade cores because they are not as interesting right now. If it's going to be skill trees or something else, and let's see. And the power progression in general, we might address that in a different way to make the game more compelling, exciting, having something to work towards. So yeah, that's what I think about skill trees. I think they are fun. I mean, a lot of games have those and make the progression funnier. So why not? It's a strong possibility. Without promising anything, it's a strong possibility.
I think the idea also behind skill trees is to have the choice of doing something different than the others. Because right now with cores, I get my core and I just put it on my weapon, but everyone does the same thing. Whereas if I have a skill tree, I can go some path and then some other guy goes to some other path. And yes, we have the same weapon, but in the end, we play it differently. And so it's this sort of feeling of the old builds we had in the old game that is missing from some people and having the choice to customize a bit more.
Yeah, I get. Yeah. It's definitely our players miss the theory crafting feeling that they had in Oldco, and I guess skill trees are the answer for that. Of course, if there are other ways to theory craft a bit, they can also, let's say, fulfill that itch. But I hear you. I understand where the request for skill trees comes from, and that's the at the end of the day, if you zoom out, is players missing that personalization and the ability to play the way that you want with the weapon, and not just everyone with the same weapon playing the same way. Especially now with Technofists being so dominant, that is even more felt.
Are you open to making the cores like open, so it's not locked to a weapon? We can choose themselves, or like have one slot locked and then two per choice or something. I don't know, like to get more the feeling that you have more personalization on your weapon. Even though we probably will all have somewhat the same cores, so it's kind of hard, right? Because in some way you have choice, but some are better than others, so you're gonna like equip them anyway. So I don't know how you can go about that.
Yeah. So the reasoning behind the cores being locked, it's mostly what you said, which is, of course, if we allow players to choose, we add that layer of complexity, which can be good or bad depending on who you are. But we add that layer of complexity, allowing players to choose which core to equip. But at the same time, as you said, I mean, we have the problem with the weapons, right? Right now, Technofist is strong. Then if there's an upgrade core that is too strong, and then everyone is just farming for that core, and then it stops being something that you want to chase, and it's something that you're just focusing on whatever is strong. Doesn't mean that it's not feasible, of course, but the logic about cores is mostly to add a very simple layer of power progression in the weapon. But of course, then of course players now feel the need for something more, and cores are not fulfilling that wish to to upgrades and to play in the different styles and to work towards something. Definitely. I don't know. How do you feel about cores? Is it something that you farm just because you need to be competitive, or does it excite you when you get like a huge drop, or how do you feel about cores?
Ajax, you go first.
I used to be excited, but now I'm not gonna lie. Since I maxed out pretty much 1 week
Yeah.
for the end of season 1, I don't care about any core I get. I know that I'm maxed out forever, and it's not really, since there's no customization. I just get what I have to because I don't have the choice. And if I don't decide to put my core in, I am instantly weaker than someone else. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to anything that is way deeper. It can be a horizontal or vertical progression, but that also allows you to bring back customization. And I know it comes back to the problem that you had in MOCO with the casuals being a bit too slow in the head, and so they build some weird things that don't work, and so in the end they have crazy bad builds. But that's also a way to express skills. So
Yeah,
but
of course.
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
What
Also, I want to zoom out. I want
Yeah,
to
go
zoom
ahead.
out a bit. No, go ahead. Expectation. I also
okay.
want to hear you.
I was gonna ask, what if we have this personalization type of things in like a game mode? I'm just gonna spitball here, like a campaign mode. Every one career level that you have, you upgrade your level, but you have to beat the level. So there's different levels, like Rifts Dojos. You have to play solo. You beat it, so you go to the next level, and if your career level is high enough, you get like an extra skill tree type of thing or decision you can do to try and get to the higher levels. And the higher your career level goes, the more like levels you could unlock if you're not stuck on a specific weapon or something. I don't know, like where you can mix power or like personalization in a specific campaign mode or something like that, free from the game.
Yeah, definitely. That's some way to do. That's some way to do. And one thing that I'm going to zoom out a bit now. I'm going to zoom out a bit from the question, and maybe what I'm going to say next is going to answer also a lot of questions in a more, let's say, high-level way, which is when we dropped Neo MOCO, I mean, we were aware that the game was still very like vanilla in a way. Of course, one of the reasons that we were very aware is that players are waiting for this game for a long time, and also by dropping the game a bit more, how do I say, vanilla, with not a lot of content still there yet, it also guides us better to understand what players like more, right? Because it's not about depth; it's about what kind of depth players want, right? We could have went right away with the game with much more depth, but could not be the right depth, right? And this way, we start with I think we already used this comparison in the podcast, which is we start with a very, let's say, basic house, and then we start to build a foundation. And if we start this way with the players, it's much easier to build that foundation, right? So that's where we are going for. Because I read a lot of comments that Neo MOCO doesn't have depth. Neo MOCO, there's nothing to do. We are the first ones to agree that. I can say that we would be very, very surprised if the game was working incredibly well for everyone and everyone was super happy with everything right now at this point, because we were the first to know, even the days before launch, that, okay, there's still some work to do. Let's put the game out there, see how players react, what the players like the most, what the players like the least. We are testing out a lot of stuff, and this guides us a lot to also adjust our decisions and adjust our plans and roadmap and all of that. Because for a new game, and let's consider this a new game because it's mostly a new game, it's very important that we are open-minded and listening to players and then adapt relating
I
to that.
want to pick on that. I'm not sure if it's in the questions, but I see Mocopedia a lot, so we'll get into that as well. But I was thinking about, you said the word roadmap. Is there like a roadmap you could share in the near future, so the community has like an idea where the devs want to take the game? Because a lot of people, they don't mind as much that the game is somewhat vanilla right now. They are just still afraid that the game is gonna die or get canceled or something. So they really just want to see what the team is working on. So they know like, okay, it's like this right now, but we see that the team is gonna cook on these things, which will make the game better. So is there like something you could do with that?
Yeah, I noticed that a lot. There's a lot of anxiety because the game might kill or the game is not doing well. So I really want to clarify a few things so everyone is kind of well rested and all of that. And also to continue what I was saying. So I put the game still very vanilla. Our plan was basically let's drop the game, drop our content. Let's look into it, look into data, look into feedback. Also doing playtests with the new players and all of that. And let's take 2 seasons. That's what we decided. Let's take 2 seasons, gather all the data, gather all the feedback, everything, and then on season 3, or so basically now on July, it's going to be more quiet because some people go on vacation, some people are working, but it's only half the team is working, the other half is on vacations, then the other people come back, and then the other half is on vacation. So we'll be only fully, let's say, fully on full steam in August. That's going to be around the time that where season 3 drops. We're going to analyze everything, like what's happened in the last 2 seasons, and then we're going to look at our plan and then readjust if needed. And it actually, we might go, like there's already talk within team, we might go to big changes still. So you're going to expect big changes to improve even more Neo MOCO. So that's definitely going to happen. Regarding the anxiety of the game getting killed and all of that, first, the thing that people want to hear what we're going to do and the roadmap and everything. The reason that we're not sharing yet, let's say, a more, how do I say, a more concrete roadmap, it's because of what I said, which is we are still gathering data in these 2 months. We already did a huge revamp in the game, a huge change in the game. Now we're kind of understanding what are the pain points of our players. Everyone, hardcores, casuals, the ones that play the game and drop after 1 week, the ones that are playing the game after two seasons but are still not super excited about the game. So every type of player we're trying to understand the pain points of our game, and then making decisions around that. And if we need to do big decisions in terms of making big changes, we are happy to do that. Regarding the anxiety of the game getting killed, we are nowhere near that, not at all. I know like that's every month, and today is 29th of June, right? So I guess in 2 days we're going to have, again, those posts of the revenue and all of that. I said it 10 times. I'm going to say it 11. I can say 100 times if needed. Right now, we are still working on a game. We are addressing this game as a very new game with a still, let's say, incomplete game. And for us to work peacefully on the game and address the core issues of the game, we can only do it with the, let's say, low pressure of a smaller player base. We did some small, let's say, marketing campaigns and ads this season to bring new players, but basically we actually have a ceiling of number of players that we want to have. If it gets above that, we kind of get, okay, we don't need more players, let's stop the machine. Because I mean, luckily we work in a company that's very successful and gives us all the tools and all the needs for us to grow whenever we're ready. For now, we're working on a small player base. It's going to be like that. So don't expect big revenue numbers and all of that. But that doesn't mean that the game is failing or anything. We are not even near the possibility of the game getting killed. Of course, that can happen. Any game can be killed. Even Fortnite can be killed. We never know what people are going to play in 5 years or 10 years, you know. Maybe in 5 years, everyone will going to play VR. Yeah, like when I was a kid, everyone played these point-and-clicker games, like Monkey Islands and all that. Now no one plays those games. So you never know what games players are going to play. So I can come here and promise, MOCO is never going to get killed to a game that is still looking for its place in the market. Anything can happen, but we are nowhere near as far as that possibility. I'm going to tell you what makes the game be killed. There's only one only one entity can kill the game, which is Team MOCO. No one else, not even like everyone else. Of course, we have to be responsible, of course, as a team, but the company trusts us, of course, and the only people that are going to decide if the game gets killed at some point is Team MOCO. And Team MOCO will only kill the game when we look at it. Okay, we have no ideas to make this game work. We don't know what else to do with this game. And I can say it's exactly the opposite. We have, I think the problem with MOCO is that we have so many ideas and we have so much that we can do with this game that we have, I don't know, 3 years of work. So in that sense, it's quite funny that the community, it's much more negative than us. We are like super excited with what's coming and super positive and super happy with the results that we already achieved and still hopefully achieve with New MOCO. So exciting times coming ahead with a bunch of new stuff for the game.
I'll make a follow-up question that Kufe asked earlier. It's related to this. So the expectations of like how many players you thought you would get from Neo MOCO, did you get there, or is it like higher, lower than you expected? Or how can you like elaborate a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's exactly what we wanted. So it's a small player base. That's exactly what we wanted. Small player base to understand like what are the main pain points, because with a small player base we can predict how the game is going to succeed with a big player base. And I think like I'm repeating this message, but I think the message is not passing through, even though I said this many times. I'm going to try to explain this in a different way. Let's imagine that you have the ambition of opening a chain of restaurants. Like you want to have your, let's say, chain of restaurants around the world, right? How do you start? You start with a small restaurant, and then you see people like the food. So you start with a small restaurant. You're not going to invest like all your money in opening 50 restaurants, right? You're going to start with a small restaurant. Then you open the restaurant, and you're like, okay, people go there, they try your food, and then you can get the feeling of if people like your food, if people don't like, and all of that. If people are coming back to your restaurant to keep eating the food. So I'm going to translate this to MOCO. Right now we are in the small restaurant stage. So we're not opening the chain of restaurants. We are in the small one restaurant only. And what we're trying to do is that before opening 20 restaurants, we open our restaurant and we try to understand if people like our food. And if people are coming back to the restaurant. So how many people are coming to the restaurant? Right now, it doesn't matter. What matters for us is one thing. When people come to our restaurant, are they coming back to our restaurant many times? That has been the biggest problem with MOCO, which in the industry called retention. Because retention, and you guys are content creators, you know this as well. Retention it's one of the most powerful metrics for you to understand success, because it tells you that players are coming back to our game. If players are dropping to your game, it doesn't matter if you attract 10 million or 20 million of players, because they're going to drop your game after a week. Then you're just burning effort. So that's what we're trying to do, trying to make sure that a lot of people come to our game and keep playing our game for many weeks, because that's one of the most powerful indicators of success. And for that we don't need millions of players. We just need a small player base for now to give us that prediction. So our restaurant is the issue at our restaurant is that people are not coming back to our restaurant many times, right? That's one of the issues. Now, one of the great things of our restaurant is that the people that come to our restaurant, they spend a lot of time in our restaurant. And I gotta tell you that MOCO has incredible, let's say, signs. People who like the game, they play the game a lot. But like, it's crazy how good that is in a way. I don't know if it's even good or bad, because people are just burning out. It's like people who like this game, they play this game for hours, which can even be bad, because playing for hours, it makes you burn out and might make you burn out and quit the game, because that's what's happening. That's one good thing that is happening. Another good thing that is happening that those tweets kind of don't explain, which is the people that come to our restaurant are actually willing to pay for the food. So when you see tomorrow or the day after, whatever, oh, MOCO is going to die because they're not making any money. What I can say is that all the problems that we have, the monetization part is not one. Actually, the game is, in terms of considering the players that we have, it's kind of working quite well. And we're not even doing our best effort because we see it's working well. So it's not, we're not putting our best effort into improving that. We still want to improve. We want to give more tools for players to have, I don't know, cooler skins and more personalized skins and more personalized player avatar. But it's not even a problem for us. The problem is people go to a restaurant and many of those people don't come back to the restaurant again. They go 1 week, 2 weeks, they get tired of the food, they go back. That's the big problem that we are trying to solve, and hopefully, very confidently, we're gonna solve that. That's the only thing. The rest, perfect, great, and we are very excited about the inputs that we're getting and the feedback. I hope my restaurant reference was clear enough.
Do you feel like right now we have one world instead of three, it's lasting 1 day instead of 3 days? Do you also think it's like the burnout aspect is also a little bit more because of that? Because we're getting more FOMO in the game, which makes people feel like, oh, I have to. Because like from my point of view, I'm a creator, so like it doesn't matter that much, to be honest, because other people have jobs, you know. But it's like if you miss 1 day, you're like, oh my god, I lost this, and it's like you can't like be in the top anymore with the level, even though the level is not as meaningful anymore. It's just a career badge, right? People still care about it, and I feel like sometimes I grind a lot in the beginning of the season, and then I make a lot of content, and I'm like, oh, I really have to play the game now. I have to grind 300k XP, otherwise I'm gonna overcap my XP, and then I start to like play, not because I want to play, basically. I don't know if that's like something other people have too.
Yeah, so I can talk about that decision of having one expedition only. Of course, if you look at it without context, it looks like a stupid decision. And I agree with you, let's FOMO, when it's like artificial FOMO and forced FOMO, it's not good. I agree. And we had an issue in season 1 with that, which was the badge, which was maybe too grindy and too punishing for players that didn't play every day for hours. I can agree with that. Regarding the expedition, so I'm going to offer you another angle. So the FOMO has been felt with 3 or 1, right? And with 3 expeditions, here's the issue that's very different than what we're talking about. We've been doing a lot of also player research and all of that, and one thing that we concluded is that the players that actually engage with the Rift are the ones that actually like the game more and they play the game more, because Rifts are not there yet. They need a lot of work to become better, but they have more variety and excitement than the open areas, the expeditions. Right now, expeditions is maybe the big problem, or one of the big problems in the game, because it's repetitive. You need to play it because you need expeditions to get to farm, to get your reward, to keep playing the game, to keep competitive, to farm XP, to unlock weapons. So you need expeditions, but then they are a bit stale, you know, and people get tired of it and they quit. So the goal of doing only one expedition is that we also noticed, especially new players and everything, that because there was 3 expeditions in the game, they weren't playing Rift because they didn't even notice it. So this decision of making one Rift is not a final decision. We're just testing out things. So it's very likely that next week or the week after, you're going to see different things. And it's even likely that, I don't know if that's going to happen, that we might do some tests that different players will have different things. Of course, respecting everyone will have the same progress opportunities, but maybe some players will have more Rifts one day or more expeditions one day than the other, or less jobs than the other, but then the XP is like still matching the same for everyone. So right now we're on a stage where we are testing a lot and how players react to it. So that's where the logic of having one expedition comes from. It's not that we want to drive more FOMO, not at all. It's more that, especially for new players, if they only do one expedition and the risk is right there, how much more they will engage with Rift, and how much does that work for them to like the game better.
Okay, clear.
So yeah, that's the story of one expedition only.
Okay, I see. So now it makes a bit more sense. So because you were you kind of want to force casuals to even notice Rift because they were not even because of these 3 days XP that we had.
Yeah, you have
But
to
then,
scroll.
Yeah.
It's a good. It's actually it's kind of hard to go through that because
I
on
wanna.
the one hand you have these casuals, and on the other hand the top players. You feel like not the top players, the people that play more.
Yeah.
It's like you're locked with one single expedition that sometimes is insanely bad. There's nothing you can get out of it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually gonna make this point right now. Someone donated, but can Xpect Dog make a cameo soon since we can't find any sniffers in game? Which basically the point I wanted to make just before it popped up was about worlds. The sniffers, for example, they're very low spawn rates. Is it like intended or not intended? What's up with that? Because sometimes we have done the whole world, but then we need, I don't know, 20 more sniffers, and it takes an hour longer in the world just to get the sniffer.
Yeah, good question. Honestly, regarding the sniffers, probably not intended. Just like not intended from events where spawners were not spawning as much as we'd like to. Of course, some stuff we can only get the feeling of when it's live. And sometimes there's also so many events that maybe something that might kind of slip. But that's why, I mean, that's one of the advantages of new MOCO, which is next time we're going to drop an event like this, we can always adjust, like we did in the past with bosses that were not spawning, and then we changed to boss only, but then maybe it was a bit boring because just hunting bosses without any goal was not interesting. So, for example, I noticed, and actually I didn't discuss with the designers this, but I noticed even today that, and in some expeditions that we have, the quest of having a boss like how do I say, like have a specific boss, but then you have like the general boss quest, because the issue of specific bosses is that if you don't rotate the killing, they don't spawn, because the bosses spawn when the previous bosses kind of get killed, so you need to rotate the killing. So I guess it's kind of a good compromise over that. But yeah, that was a fail. The snippet one was definitely a fail, and of course that's always good feedback to do better on next events.
Gonna make one more thing about spawns, but it's more like expeditions. So there is one world people like a lot. It's the egg world, chaos contained. People would like to see it more often. Is that something that can be done? Because the problem right now is expeditions don't give that much XP, but the egg world gives great XP, gives great cores, so people really enjoy that. So I think a lot of people in the community would like to see that map more often.
Yeah, not only that map, but I mean one lesson. I mean, this is not a lesson; it's kind of obvious, but at the same time, it's a lesson in a way that reinforces that. Is that variety? It's always appreciated, and we see that with the chaos contained, which was kind of a how do I say, almost unexpected kind of good surprise, because I mean, it's a special event, but it still was even more appreciated than we thought it would be. But even the Gargant, which is a very different rift.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes. So all this, of course, we did the Mecha event as well, which was super well appreciated. All these variety players appreciate a lot, and this is something that we're gonna invest more on, which is, and we're gonna see more and more throughout the months and years, like these unexpected things that come out, and you're like, oh, what the hell is this? I open the game and there's like some mecha guy, or there's this Gargant that hits you up, or all of that. The idea is to do that more and more, but of course we can't always only depend on variety. That's another thing that we want to address in our game, which is make the game more replayable, the content. Because here's the thing, doing a Gargant is great, right, for the game, but the effort that is needed to do a Gargant that people will maybe only play for 20 minutes, it's not sustainable, right? So we also have to that's something that we want to invest, is mix a bit between variety, so keeping the game fresh with new stuff, but making our game more replayable as well. And one obvious thing that we might want to bring back is layers of difficulty in Rift. So instead of you having a I don't know, more extended number of reads, you might have maybe less reads, but then you have like several difficulties, and then maybe the last one is the one that you go to climb the leaderboard. Because I also hear your feedback that 6 rift is too much for the sweaty guys to go for the leaderboard. I actually have been having interesting questions with the more competitive guys about that.
Will we see
So
rewards
yeah,
on the
that's
leaderboard soon?
yeah, that's a good topic as well. So adding rewards for leaderboards, it's not a hard thing to do. The reason that we didn't go through with rewards for leaderboards yet, it's because we weren't sure how much would that play out after first season. Because especially first season, I knew that very likely something would go bad, something unexpected would go bad, right? And worse than not giving rewards for leaderboard is giving like reward, especially very exclusive rewards, and then the top players are not the most deserving ones because there was a exploit or there was a bug or there was something. So it's very likely that we're going to have rewards for leaderboard at some point when the confidence that those rewards are going to the fairest, the ones that really deserve to get the reward, not the ones that got an exploit or something like that.
Okay. I
Does
see.
that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I know that you're one of those that pushes a lot for those rewards for leaderboard, and I agree that those are important. We just want to make sure that those are distributed fairly and not based on bugs or stuff like that.
And maybe remove crits.
Yeah, the crit. I think. So one thing that of course I'm here talking with you guys and talking about all those things. But I'm also even if you don't know that side, but I got your back as well, and I don't know how many times I use the word RNG in our team. So I am fighting for you guys as well,
Okay.
and I understand the pain. I understand the pain, which is the crits and trying to match a good run with the luck factor, which is super painful, and I really appreciate everyone's feedback, and I'm fighting for you guys, of course. Which
One-
is just
Two things.
just be patient if those feedbacks take a bit of time to implement, because again, there's a list of millions of things that we have on our priority list, and sometimes things that might be important for you might not be important for other people. So for you it's a high priority, for others it's low.
Yeah.
And to manage all of those million things that are super priority for the game, it's very hard. So I try to just to manage expectations. We know about those and we want to address those, but also it might not be solved in 1 day or 1 week. That's just.
I have one more question about leaderboards. Is there a reason why the dojo leaderboards got removed since the weapon mastery?
Yes, actually, I didn't discuss with the team, but the logic prevails. At least for me, the fact is that dojos are not seasonable content, and because they're not seasonable content, then the leaderboard would be forever or something. Of course, we could do seasonal leaderboards and reset, and if that's something that people really want, we can.
No,
of
but-
course, I can bring it to the team, but
Maybe
most
just-
important is because dojos.
Yeah, maybe just some leaderboard. It doesn't have to give rewards or something. So, but people can just see if I play dojos a lot, or I'm still on the leaderboard. It doesn't have to reset. It can stay there forever, in my
just to
opinion.
compare yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
But yeah, of course, if credits now in the game and then you might remove or rework it, it might have to be wiped. But so maybe do it
Yeah.
after, like that's fixed, in my opinion. But it could still just be there just to see. It doesn't need to have rewards or anything. It doesn't need to have to be seasonal. It's just like, oh look, my name is on the leaderboard for this dojo,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's some way that I mean, maybe not now. July is
Yeah,
tomorrow.
it's pretty close. Yeah.
So yeah, things are going to be a bit more quiet. But one thing that I can look into, remember after the live, which is see if I can still get that data, and let's say unofficially keep you guys updated with the leaderboard results. That's the way that I can do.
I just wanted to come back to RNG because I feel like no matter what, the problem doesn't really come from RNG itself, but from how the elite merit system is created and built. Because with the current elite merit system, you want to get the best time you can no matter what. And even if you say you remove all the RNG possible from your weapons, you will still complain about the bosses doing exactly that one thing or something that has to go right. Because if you want to get the best time, you don't really have the choice. You need everything to go as right as possible, and you need the best luck in no matter whatever happens. And so even if you remove these crits, you will complain about boss patterns. If you complain about boss patterns, people will complain about other stuff where they spawn on the map or their pings or not being close enough. Or there'll always be an RNG factor that people will complain about. And I feel like the old system we had in old Co, where you had milestones. So instead of going for the best time, you would go for a sub 230, sub 2, sub 3, and so on. You didn't really care about getting a great time. If you had 151 or 155, you got your sub 2. You didn't really, it doesn't really matter. And so maybe a mix of both could be a solution.
Yeah, that's why it's so cool to always talk to players and discover new things, because especially the very high competitive side, it's one side that I'm personally passionate about, and it's always cool to hear the people that play this game more sweaty to hear their opinions. And one thing that I was super kind of surprised about is how the game is burning out to you guys, because you have 6 rifts and you want to be on top of leaderboard, but that demands a lot of grinding as well. And of course, as you said, RNG is never going to be removed entirely. That's even RNG that's it's uncontrollable, or at least unpredictable. Unpredictable RNG, it's also already a kind of a cool expression, but we can always reduce it. But I was also surprised how, not surprised, but it was curious to hear that the game right now it might be too competitive and too grindy also for the competitive guys, because I always felt that the new systems with the leaderboards giving so the leaderboards is becoming not XP anymore but about speed running would be cool. But now I can see how much an endless runs for competitors to keep going for the leaderboards, and how how that becomes tiring. And then you have the RNG factor, so you have to match a good run with the luck factor. I see how can that be draining, and I already had some cool discussions with the team as well about that.
Can we
we're looking into
expect some different type of rifts? It's not just speedrunning, but maybe like a survival thing where you have to survive as long as possible. So we also see other weapons shine, for example. Or kind of like a zombie endless mode or something.
Yeah, that's a good question. This is something that we discussed as well internally, because that's true. You get a lot of this feedback that the game is all about being fast, and I agree. I totally agree with that. It just makes you, even for a casual, seeing the time there and you have to be fast, just makes you rush through the game. So you're less strategic. If you're not competitive, you're just like rushing, trying to do things as fast as you can. How to address that? Of course, we can add more goals. The only issue is that for co-op, if you add different goals, let's say, for example, that our stars become, one goal is be fast, the other goal is to not get damage, the other goal is something else. And then you matchmake these people that are looking for different goals, and then you have one guy who is rushing, the other guy was trying to be super defensive, the other guy was doing something else. So, of course, we can always do rifts that have different goals, which might create some complexity, but it's going to be complicated to add different goals in the same rift when you have a competitive environment, because that would disrupt the matchmaking. And that's why half an hour ago, I was asking you, how do you feel to play with randoms now with masteries? Because that might be happening a bit with the masteries, because players are going with different weapons. So one player might be going for time, the other player might be going for, I want to master my vibe shifter. So that creates these complex matchmaking problems.
Okay.
But we all agree as a team that just speedrunning is not the way to go. So we are looking into it.
Do you feel like being able to use the same weapons in the Rift is healthy for the game, like 3 Technofists, instead of forcing everyone on a different weapon or something? I know it's for matchmaking would be harder to like not have people that have the same weapons, but do you feel like it would be healthier if we were forced to like have different weapons?
What do you think?
I
I
think it
think
would
it's fine
be.
to have a sort of debuff if one or two or more people
Yeah.
use the same weapon. That would force people to find different workarounds. And so far, I never had long matchmakings when playing Rift, so I don't know if you will really slow down the matchmaking if you force people to team up with people having different weapons.
Especially now with the
Yeah.
mastery updates, right?
The only issue that would cause is that instead of going for 3 times the same weapon, the meta will just be around the same 3 weapons, that people will all use the same 3 combo all the time in all the Rifts. But otherwise, no, it can cook.
But
Yep,
that allows for
but
more
it's still-
strategy, no? Because if it's just 3 Technofists, it's more about like cycling your attack speeds. While if you have different weapons, it's like a complete different strategy because you can't stack them up anymore. I'm sorry for cutting you
Yeah,
off,
but
by
you
the way.
can just
Joao, I
take
didn't
whatever
mean to.
has the most damage, you know. That's also
I'm reading a lowercase comment. Hey, lowercase, how are you? He's watching the stream and he says, I want to master my 5 shifter is the mentality of every single one of my family. Well, that's the challenge. Master a 5 shifter. That's the MOCO real challenge. That's the real long-term goal.
But
To master the 5
I
shifter.
feel like now you have lobbies before you enter the Rift, so I feel like there is more room now for like experimenting in like different weapons and stuff. Before you couldn't really have a lobby, but now we have a great lobby system. You can legit just look at the lobbies where people are and you can join them. So I think there is room to do it. I don't know if you will, but maybe it's something to look into.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm sure that this was a discussion at some points within us. I want to bring back that subject actually with the team as well. How would it be with making 3 different weapons as first? I don't know what's right now. I'm overlooking the pros and cons. Of course, a big con would be the matchmaking would be much more tight, which would be a risk. But yeah, let me
maybe we
ask the
don't have
team
enough weapons yet. That's also the big problem. As soon as we
Yeah,
have
of
20,
course.
25 weapons, it will be much easier already.
Yeah, I think like a lot of us are overlooking that, let's say, problem. The game is going to be very different with 20 something weapons. Even and not disregarding the fact that the skill tree would be cool, but the weapons themselves are a way of playing differently, of course. And if we have, I don't know, 3 or 4 DPS or 3 or 4 whatever it is that are very different and quite close in power, maybe we bring that variety. And then, of course, if then there's always personalized weapon, even better. But yeah, I think the more weapons we add in the game, up to a point, I think as well, I think the game is going to feel more and more alive and varied, and hopefully the rifts and the content will also push for that. And of course, we agree that there's still a lot of work to do to improve on that.
Can we maybe expect to see some chaos weapons in the future, like a chaos shader instead of like golds? For example, we have to hunt, I don't know, 500 chaos monsters. I'm just spitballing. Like if MOCO is like very far in the future, where we have like more than the golden shader, like a chaos shader or something. Could that be like a thing?
Yeah, I don't think that's in the plans yet, but it's going to be very natural that happens.
Masters 2.0.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give the
I
word back
think
to
Chaos
Richard.
Shader, it's cool.
Yeah.
So you answered a lot of questions that were asked in Discord or Reddit. I don't know if you want to continue with the Reddit questions or if you want to follow up with what we were talking about.
No, let's go with more questions, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Or was there something pending?
Because you were talking about having more weapons in the game, and one question I saw coming back a lot is, aren't you afraid there will be too many weapons in the game? And it's also talking about having 3 additional weapons every season. Isn't that too much, in your opinion?
Might be too much in the future. And the good thing is that we can always adjust, right? If it becomes 2 weapons, we just ship less weapons. If players want more weapons, we ship more weapons. Right now, it's very clear that the game needs more weapons. So I think 3 per season, it's the right amount in terms of novelty, but also not being too much. But I think that's a good rhythm to drop weapons. Of course, when it's too much, then we just make the decision to ship less weapons, right? But that's a very future problem. Right now, the game needs more weapons, that's for sure.
Definitely. And when you compare to games like Brawl Stars have 100 brawlers, or in Clash Royale there's 120 cards, I think we're fine right now with MOCO for a bit of time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember. I think many years ago, that was the question in Brawl Stars, like, oh, how many brawlers is going to be too many brawlers? And the brawlers are still coming, and players are still excited for new brawlers. So.
I see two more things showing up a lot. So the first thing is clans. Is there like any plans for clans or like guilds? And the second one is Mocopedia. When will we see it return, and what is the plans for that?
Yeah, regarding plans, like to be very transparent and honest, it's not a subject that we've been talking. Not that it's not important, but it's one of those things that you add when the core game is already established, right? We're going to still implement big changes in the game, which we probably will. Then we'll have to adjust those systems as well. Then guilds would have to change, by consequence. So I think like guilds are very important, especially for a game like MOCO, for a PvE. Guilds and community are very important. But then, the house, and then we add those layers that are going to be make the game even better. But I totally agree. I think there's a lot of cool ideas for that social aspect of the game, the guilds, but that might be still too early, considering all other things that we still want to implement.
Okay.
And Mocopedia.
Mocopedia?
You asked me about Mocopedia.
Yeah.
Mocopedia, it's one of at least the team's darlings, or at least some of us like Mocopedia a lot. I think one thing that we figured out with the Mocopedia that you tested as well, it was too passive, right? Which is, you have your Mocopedia, and you go there, you see, oh, I hunted this monster, so you press the button and all that. It's cool. It's something else for you to work towards, which is complete your Mocopedia, but felt very, very passive. And at the same time, it's something that you can't act towards many times, which is, for example, you have your monsters collected and you want to keep collecting, but then those monsters are not even spawning on that day. It's like, what am I going to do with this, right? There's value in Mocopedia. I think a lot of us believe in the value of Mocopedia. We just want to make it right before putting out there. So instead of dropping a very vanilla Mocopedia, if and when Mocopedia comes out, it's going to be a very different Mocopedia that you saw, at least a better Mocopedia.
Yeah, because I really miss it. Like I remember when it first came out, I played a dev build for 7-8 hours just to grind out that Mocopedia on one day. Same with like the seasonal missions was there too. So it was like a combination of both of these. They also disappeared, I think. I'm not sure if they come back or not. But I do miss the Mocopedia because it really gave an extra layer of like grinding out the worlds, Yeah, I'm excited to see it back, and I feel a lot of people are excited to see it come back someday.
Yeah. So you experienced Mocopedia with the dev builds. How was it? Like, what did you feel that was good, and what did you feel that was not as good? Or do you think like Mocopedia as it was perfect and ready to ship?
Yeah, I liked it the way it was, where it's just like something else you do on the sides. It didn't really feel like it needed more. I can understand some people like lore a lot, so they would like to have more lore than what it had, than just like a page of text. But for me personally, I'm not that big on lore. I'm sorry, guys. I most of the time just skip through it to save time. But yeah, it was just an added layer of, hey, I'm playing a world. Even though my XP is done for the day, my jobs are done for the day, I still feel like I was doing something. Especially if they would add some, I don't know, shinies or something, which is very rare. I just did like it to complete something, and then to see it. I would like to see a progress bar in there too. You have seen this many monsters and you have killed this many monsters and stuff, so you can actually see the progress go up as well. But other than that, I think it was fine. I don't know if there's anyone in chat that has like something about Wikipedia to say, or HX or Joao? What are your opinions?
I didn't play Mocopedia because I didn't have that dev build, but it was something I was really looking forward to. Yeah, that bestiary is always great to grind. Now, if you tell me it was too AFK, I can understand. I hope Joe is fine, and I cannot wait for the rework. It's just that the question comes up because people are afraid it has been cancelled, but I think the answer is that no, it's just coming even in a better version.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to make a small adjustment.
No worries.
Which was charging my computer. At least it's not the microphone, it's just the computer. There was, which would be worse if it kind of died out.
True.
But that's covered, that's all.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I think like Mocopedia is one of those gems that we want to make it right. Because if we release it vanilla, then it's going to be harder. If we want to make big adjustments to Mocopedia, it's going to be harder because then we have to replace the old systems with new ones. So those are one of the gems that will only go out if it's like ready to go.
because Xpect, you talked about lore, and you said you don't really care. I'm also not a very great fan of lore, but I know it's something that has been asked a lot. People are curious about what you see for a possible storyline or lore coming with the game and how it could evolve.
Yeah. First, this is how we can see that different players like different things, and you guys don't care about lore, other people care. But lore is something that we as a team want to invest more and more. We felt the lack of lore in this game and how much feedback that we got over that. And lore is so important to adapt to the game, especially a PvE game. And it's something that we honestly failed on that on new MOCO. So what happened is that with old MOCO, we had a bit of lore with the tech. I mean, it was not even ideal. I think most of the lore was delivered through text with the founders and all of that, but it was still something. A lot of players were skipping those texts because no one reads anymore. But it was still something that added depth to the game and connected players with the world of MOCO, with the founders and all of that. Then with the new MOCO, because we changed to this rotating system, then we don't have like a, how do I say, a scheme where we can follow players through. There's rotating events. And with that, of course, we had this feature called MoChat, which is quite hidden in the game, but that's not serving at all our players in terms of lore. So lore is something that we might invest more in the game to bring the fantasy, even more maybe than Oldco. So of course, it will take time to develop that part of the game, but for sure we want to improve in that way. I think the game right now it's very the lack of depth is also on the lore side. I think the game feels very vanilla on that sense, and MOCO has such a inspiring and such a captivating IP. I love our characters, Luna, Jax, Manny, and the story of the startup, and Drainer, and all of that, and much more that's still on the secret files of MOCO's team.
Okay.
So yeah, expect more of that. That's something that we really want to invest as a team.
So we kind of went through all of the Reddit questions. Maybe there's just one last in the top upvoted that is from someone called Kairos Time, which just asks, what is your favorite unreleased weapon?
My favorite one, I don't know if Kairos is watching this, but if he is, hello Kairos, and meet you here, you and all the guys that came here. From time to time, I think about those times that you guys were here, were amazing. And I think my answer is the same as Kairos, which is the I think right now it's called Pyro, which is the flamethrower. It's just plain fun, But I haven't been testing much the new weapons. I don't know how they are in terms of balance and everything. But that one was plain fun. The flamethrower one was plain fun. It was quite different than the other ones. But of course, let's see how he goes out in the live game.
I guess we can go to the Discord ones then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I don't know. Sorry to interrupt you.
No worries.
Because I remember on Reddit there was a very long intervention from Wild SK appeared. Of course, he wrote a lot, and I want to give room for other people as well. But I mean, he put so much love and so much thought in his message, so I really want to address him because I don't think we read his question right. Because
Yes, but
he says
most of
that
them
if
were answered in orders. That's why. But yeah, sure, you can go ahead.
it was mostly okay. It was mostly suggestions, right? He talked about
He
monetization.
listed 7 suggestions, and I think most of them we went through. But you can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So let's, yeah, of course, giving opportunity to answer other questions, but
Okay,
first
so
thing,
I can go through quickly. If you he talked about simplifying the weapon skill trees.
yeah, that we talked about, and the core attachment we talked
Or
about.
your elements.
Yeah, he talked about. He also talked about Bello's solo friendliness, kills tune for groups, adaptive motor scaling, or some equivalent to go a long way. I don't think there are plans to improve the solo friendliness. The goal of MOCO is to make the game as social as possible. But of course, I mean, we're open for everything. But we can agree that playing Rifts with friends is and with people, it feels more alive than just playing alone. But of course, who knows? Anything can happen in that regard. Regarding monetization system, he talks about monetization system. I already talked about it. For now, we don't feel the need to change our monetization strategy. It's working for now. Doesn't mean that it's going to work with a larger scale of players if we get there, but we don't have any reasons to consider another monetization system for now. More meaningful end game loop with endless power progression throughout the season. I don't know if endless power progression is the way to go or not. I don't know, but we're looking into it. We're looking into zooming out, which is something that players in different ways are telling us, which is, why am I playing this game? What am I working towards? And this is something that we have in our minds loud and clear, that the game needs better long-term goals, better reasons for people to play, things for people to reach out to. So we are into it.
Can we expect some more hype moments, like a big boss that spawns every 4 or 8 hours or something, like that really is hard to kill, or some special drops, like maybe some gear or something, or some skins that you can only drop by killing something? I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know if that. I think that's a feedback that we always get in different ways. Either it's the material from the beta, or if,
materials.
or if monsters are going to drop different stuff. I don't see that idea resonating a lot within the team. Doesn't mean that we're not going to do it at some point. But those are very, how do I say, very classic MMO or ARPG, if you prefer, kind of systems. That those are the ones. So our game has a lot of course, RPG and MMO inspiration, but that doesn't mean that we're going to go through that route, right? We were very clear around that. So just to be clear for our players, because that's something that I want to be very transparent, which is, I get a lot of feedback and opinions from players that say, I do this because ARPGs do this. Do this because MMOs should be like that. And to be very clear and transparent, if you're expecting a very typical and very traditional ARPG or MMO from MOCO, that's probably not the way that we're going for. Because those games already exist out there. They exist tons of them. And if you are one of them, it's going to set us up for failure. At least that's what we believe in. We want to bring a fresh game to everyone, something that feels new and fresh. And that means that taking inspiration from some other genres. RPG is a big one, of course. Action RPG or MMO RPG will have, of course, inspirations, but that doesn't mean that that's our route to make those classic MMO or classic action RPGs. And I think that's one of the reasons that some players are frustrated with MOCO, because I think we've been driving a bit further away from that path. And I guess some players are still expecting to see that game, and it's frustrating them, which I truly and deeply understand. But I also want to be transparent that if you're looking for that game, that might be the game for you. And I prefer to say this instead of saying, no, we're going to have those things and all of that, and people keep expecting a traditional MMO or a traditional action RPG, and that end up not happening. Maybe they will. Maybe it will someday in the future, maybe decide, well, of course, maybe let's go to the traditional route because something here is not working. That can happen, but right now that's not the plans to make a traditional action RPG or a traditional MMO.
Okay.
Yeah, because the materials we've been seeing this. Personally, I haven't even played that old beta that you had, but so many people kept talking about them over and over again. So definitely see something people liked. Maybe it's
Yeah,
like,
we can talk about materials a bit because I think there's a question at least on Discord to talk about materials, and I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah. I'll be right back in a minute, guys. I really have to go to the bathroom, but keep it going.
Okay, sure.
So sorry.
I mean, if you want to, we can talk about materials. Otherwise, I go through the most voted Discord questions. Materials is not one of the top. It's just that it's linked to this fact of coming back to what MMOs are. And yes, you are saying that it's not because others are doing like this that we have to follow them, but at the same time, maybe if others are doing like this, well, maybe there's a reason that if it works elsewhere, it could work in MOCO. So it's a balance
of course.
to have. But yeah, okay, let's go through Discord. I know the top most voted Discord question was talking about the roadmap, but we already talked about it, I think. The roadmap of future
Yes, I did.
expectations. So then we can go to the second most voted, which was regarding. So I think we also talked about it as well. What do you see as the long-term vision for MOCO?
Yes. So again, so I'm going to touch again on the MMO and the action RPG and all of that. So definitely, we don't want to go through that route of making a traditional MMO or action RPG. We basically just want to make a PvE game that's very skill expressive, which is not there yet. We want to make a game that feels like a social adventure, which is not there yet as well. And that's basically it in terms of very high level. I could go deeper on here, but again, we are also still very open to challenge our own vision. So I don't want to go too deep into that. What I can say is that right now, maybe the game right now it's kind of still going there, which means that people are not seeing that, and that how as we're adding like these new features, these new cool stuff, this new variety, and all the magic that we still want to bring, hopefully that vision will come to life and people will see it and start falling more and more in love with the game. But yeah, there's mostly that.
It was a post from Pempool. With one less vote, so the last one had 87, this one has 86, comes from Star Mustafa regarding a censorship problem that they have in the Arabic communities, because I think their alphabet is getting, or their language is getting censored in most of their messages. I think it's also something that happens with Cyrillic. And actually, maybe overall, a lot of messages, even some that don't seem offensive at all, get censored. I think the best example is probably OCC, which stands for overcharge, overcharge chaos, but it still shows 3 dots. So, are there plans regarding these?
Yeah, I'm writing because I remember this was an issue, and I need to flag this again because I got this feedback again, keep getting. So I need to look into it. But of course, if bad words are not being filtered and words that shouldn't be filtered are being filtered, that's not good, and we need to address it for sure. So thank you for reporting that, and we'll look into it.
Okay, yeah. I also remember in MOCO, snow used to also be censored because for some reason, and you couldn't even tell people what gadgets to play because you would keep getting censored, and for some people it could get really, really annoying. Which I don't think is happening a lot with other Spillcell games. But yeah, that was that. Let me check really quickly because I think I see which one is the next most upvoted one. I just want to double check. Well, I mean, if we could still go through it. I think we also talked about it. Karis asking questions regarding the MOCO's long-term progression and endgame. So materials, we talked about it. Power progression, talked about it, and Masteries, we also talked about it. So we have a question from Silver, and maybe a less serious, which is asking, why is there no bunny rabbit ride yet?
Why is there no? Sorry, I didn't get that.
Bunny rabbit ride.
Ah, the bunny. I thought today I laughed a lot. Yeah, why not? That's the real question.
A lot of
I think. Yeah. Tomorrow I'm gonna storm out the team room and I'm gonna say where the hell is the bunny? We need the bunny. I'm gonna make my best to bring the bunny mount. I agree. Bunnies are cute and they should be in the game.
I see a comment too about the Venom bow. It's like since one of the updates, the range got nerfed from one of the abilities, and people are asking, is this like an intended nerf or is this something that is like unintended and will be fixed later on?
Yeah, I'm gonna give an hour culpa, which is apparently that was something that slipped through the patch notes, and something that was supposed to come in a further update. And when I knew about this, it was kind of, I got the feedback and I was like, was this nerfed or not? So it kind of came too late. So yes, apparently it was. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay.
But this is something that we need to get better at, which is don't let these things slip through because they are important for our players. And I also hate shadow nerfs and shadow whatever in the games that I play. So that's something that I'm not proud of, which is not letting players know about the nerf of a weapon.
Oh, now we know.
Why not?
Yeah. So when can we expect the next buff to buff it again? No, I feel a little bit. It went from like 100 way too big to now maybe a bit too small. So I think
or buggy is even.
Yeah, it's buggy. Like sometimes two monsters are next to each other and it doesn't apply it onto the other monster. So I think the value needs to be somewhere between both of them. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, opinion shared. Another top voted question. So you said that the Mastery update was actually a small update, and that there would be a few big updates around the year. And so the question would be, what can we expect from a big update from Hydrox?
It's a great question.
Yeah,
actually.
even I can answer that question, or at least can't answer properly because nothing is set in stone, especially at this point. Here's what I can say. I can say that I believe we're going to have an update in August or September, which is going to be small as well. And then we're going to have a big one more October, November, if I'm not mistaken. This is like still to be determined, but I also want to give a bit of a overview of what's going to happen. But also what I can say is that after the summer and all of that, I'll be happily do something with the team or a MOCO or something to update everyone a bit better. Because then it's going to be, we have the 2 seasons and we have more insight and we have, we're going to look at our roadmap and see what's going to go through, what's going to change and all of that. And I'll be happily sit with the team or do something else and talk with everyone what's our next plans for MOCO. So yeah.
Are you seeing season 1 and season 2 as the half beta? As because you kept saying that season 1 and season 2 you gather data so that you can improve later on. And
yeah, so
far it feels like
we are not on beta, and I'm trying to avoid to say the word beta.
Yeah, sorry.
Because no, it's okay. I'm just saying because in a Supercell universe, beta it's the game that if it fails, it's gonna get killed. And because we are not right now, like we're not even considering that, I'm also trying to avoid beta because it's a live game. It's been there for more than 1 year. Of course, we had this period where the game was not being updated, but it's a game that's going to be here for a month. And usually betas at Supercell, it's one of those games that stay for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, and then it might get killed or not, right? At least it's going to be, it's what has been happening in the past. So I'm trying to avoid the word beta. But I would say that we're having in some way, a beta approach. And if I don't know if OJ is hearing this, but if he's hearing this, he's like, "Yeah, I told you so. You're beta." But yeah, in some way, there's some, let's say, beta approach to it, which is we're still like exploring. Also, it's kind of mixed between us knowing where we want to go and following our vision. It's just not. It can't be just you know read comments and just do whatever we get. It's like getting a lot of feedback from different sources and also adapt our vision to it. But it's a mix of both. But yeah, we're having like a bit of a beta approach where we're testing out and iterate depending on the signals that we get.
Okay. Thanks for making it a bit more transparent.
Yeah, of course.
So one other question that is voted a lot from MyFix or MeFix is about aiming. Will there ever be aimable skills in MOCO?
Yeah. First of all, I want to send a hug to Xpect. I don't think I ever talked a lot with him, if ever. Maybe I might approach him soon because he brings such a good energy to the community that I like that. I think he has a very good and positive spirit. And to answer that, aiming is one of those subjects that keep coming up from time to time. Oh, he's there saying he's double. Yeah. Aiming is one of those subjects that keeps coming from time to time, even within the team. I think right now the approach of aiming is that it's kind of this last resource or last resort, like this kind of thing that, okay, nothing else is working. Let's try aiming to see if it gets better. Of course, we get a lot of players talking about aiming, but then we also have a lot of players talking about, is MOCO ever going to be on PC? And those two things kind of are incompatible. I'm not saying that we're not adding aiming because we want to go to PC, right? I'm just saying that if we add aiming, it's going to be harder to go to PC, which for me would be a bummer because I really believe in this game, and I believe in this game not only for mobile but for multi-platform. I think as soon as we get it right, we can be big not only on mobile. So if you ask me, I'm on the side. Me personally, this is me personally, of course. I'm on the side of aiming or not. I'm on the side of not aiming. There's so many good games that don't have aiming, and aiming allows us to be multi-platform easier. But I mean, if aiming is what's going to make the game better, then of course we are open to it. But at least from what I sense is that within the team is that aiming is always going to be this last resource kind of thing where, okay, we tried a lot of things that they are not working. Let's try aiming to see if players engage more with the gameplay. How do you guys feel? I mean, you are very competitive, so I guess you like the gameplay as it is. Do you think like aiming would be better for you, or you'd be like, you're ruining the game with this?
I'll let you go first, Ajax.
So I streamed 2 or 3 days ago, and we had a half an hour conversation about it. I'm also within the team of I don't necessarily want aiming. If it comes into game, I'm fine with it. I did a poll during that live stream, and I had about 60% no, 40% yes when it comes to aiming.
Okay.
It can indeed bring some skill expression, which is what people are looking for, and mainly because some very specific skills don't go where you want to, even when you are in the perfect situation or position to use them. I'm thinking mainly the skill 2 of Headbanger, that even when you're in front of a boss, it can go the other way because there's that small mob in front of you. But if the team manages to fix these small problems, I don't think we need aiming. I also think it's low-key a skill issue when people are saying that you need aiming because you are aiming through your positioning and through your left joystick by how you're looking at. And so yeah, I think the game can do without.
I guess I'm skill issued. I'm team aiming.
But I don't want to be mean.
No. It's a joke. But yeah, I come from playing like Wild Rift, for example. It's the same button layouts, but you can aim, and I like it more because you can target lock. But if we do not get aiming, I'm okay with that too. But we need options to have more personalization, like In the settings, you have a button where you can say target the closest monster, target the lowest HP amount, HP percentage. So you still have somewhat control. So you don't have it like where you're trying to aim there and then it goes backwards or something like that. That would fix a lot of issues already. Which brings me to another point with the settings. People have been asking a lot about different graphics settings. Will that be a thing in MOCO where we have different FPS, different quality ranges for lower end devices and stuff like that?
Yeah, just to finalize this subject of the aiming and the skill expression. Of course, Singularity also brought a lot that topic.
Yeah.
I think when people say they want aiming, at the end of the day, what they want is more skill expression, more agency. So that's something that's, I mean, there's many ways. Aiming is one of the ways to fix that. There are other ways, of course. So this is something that we'll keep looking at, which is improving the gameplay experience and the agency, and makes the game feel more and more that your skill matters. Now you were, and then I was explaining this. It was the again the performance issues. Yeah, I talked a bit about performance. That's a good topic about the changing the graphics and all of that. I think right now our priority is actually to improve the our performance issues that have nothing to do with the ability or the capacity of your device. Of course, options to lower the graphics are great for lower end devices, but then kind of also ruins the experience a bit, because then you're seeing a very bland game.
At least you
I
can
don't know.
play.
Actually, I've got to be honest. I don't have a strong opinion on that. I don't think that's something that is talked a lot within the team. I know that right now we are focused on, in terms of, let's say, tech-wise specifically, we are focusing on little by little to improve the performance. Then if we do everything that we did, and then there's a lot of barriers with devices to play MOCO, then maybe that's something to consider. But for now, improve the performance regardless of the device.
Okay.
I wanted to also say, coming back to aiming, that you need to have both non-aimable and aimable skills if you were to ever add aiming, because I think people tend to forget that if you can aim, that means you can miss a shot. At least when you're playing with the casuals that you're complaining about, the randoms in Rifts, at least they're hitting their shots. If on top of that you have to add the fact that they can miss what they're doing, people will be crashing out a bit more about these people. And overall, the game can just be harder.
Yeah, actually, I want to ask you something, which is, how do you feel about the skill expression in general? I'm talking about two of the most skillful players that play this game. So it feels kind of almost stupid to ask about this, but zooming out of your own experience, do you feel that the game offers enough ways to express your skill, or does the game feel skillful, or how do you feel about it? Because a lot of people talk about, oh, it's just a repetitive button mashing. It's just button mashing or anything. Do you agree with that? Do you not? How do you feel about that?
I feel it's a bit harder for us to respond because we know the monsters, so we know what they are doing and what their animations are. So we are more likely to position ourselves better, because it's not really skill impression. It's more like how you position yourself. That's very important in MOCO right now. So if you know what the big bosses do, you know where to position. So if there's a new boss coming, we won't know what the text it will do. So it will take some learning to get there. So in a way, it's skill based because you need to know and remember all of these things that the bosses are doing. But like it's more like positioning yourself to like not get hit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more skill expression than before, in my opinion, when we had like the red circles, because now you really have to be a bit more safer sometimes, going a bit further, because you're not really 100% sure if you're gonna get hit or not. So in a way, it's more skillful. But yeah, if I'm still team aim, so for me it could be more skill expression, but maybe that's just me. I have the background of playing these games for years, so maybe it's not for the casuals. So I'm gonna leave it aside. Yeah. What about you,
So
HX?
you talked about skill expression through dodging the mobs and the attacks. So yeah, a lot of experience, as you said. I was thinking more of the player itself using his abilities compared to old co where you had gadgets and everything. I think yes, the game is a bit a bit too spammy because if you compare gadget cooldown on old co to the ability cooldowns that we have in the new game, it's almost halved. I think the longest cooldowns we have is something like skill 2s of Headbanger or Venombo, which is 10 seconds, but that's it. Where in Old Co, you had Snow Gadget that could have 30 seconds, Fireworks at 18. And so you had much more, it was so important to use them properly because they had such a high cooldown. Whereas now in the current game, you can kind of not really care when you want to use it. Just spam it, and you will be back whenever it's going to be needed again. And so there's less skill through when to use what and to properly position yourself to use that thing. And I'm also thinking, trying to compare how flashy the game looks because if you take Brawl Stars esports, you can have that 10-side clip that dodges everything 1v3 and nothing hits him. I'm trying to think if that can happen in MOCO, and it's kind of tough, so there is skill. The more you play the game, the more you understand skill, the skill expression that there is through the timings, when to use what. It's not really spammy, but because the cooldowns are so low, it kind of makes it spammy. But when it comes to a flashy play, it's tough. I feel like MOCO is missing something, I don't know, some sort of abilities that are actually hard to use or that needs a specific timing. Because otherwise, yes, it's press your button, and if you use it well, there you go. You're
Yeah.
skilled.
I'm gonna
When
flip this.
you were comparing,
Yeah.
sorry, just to
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
were
Go ahead.
comparing to Brawl Stars. I didn't get that comparison. Can you go back to that?
Yeah, so I keep saying Brawl Stars because it's kind of the big brother of MOCO. I feel like most of the player base of MOCO is also linked to Brawl Stars. So when I was talking about flashy plays, stuff that when you look, I don't know, I'm not talking generally esports, but when you look when you want to look at a montage of something and want to see something that is impressing you, you can have that in Brawl Stars. Someone hitting 30 shots in a row on all his enemies, someone dodging everything, someone doing a 1v3. In MOCO, I mean, you will see the player using his abilities right. Okay, he will not get hit by the boss. Okay, but it's not flashy. There's nothing that makes me go, "Wow, this guy is so good." So when we had past tournaments, I remember seeing great plays. But when you're casual players will not notice them because you need experience to understand that the guy did something insane. And so this flashiness is hard to really tell. There could be ways. I'm thinking maybe if you show, I don't know, for example, a DPS counter on the screen, and people can compare themselves to the people at the top and see, wow, these guys are averaging that amount of DPS the whole time when I'm not. That means they're doing something insane, and you understand there's something insane going on. But the flashy plays are kind of missing, I feel like.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Brawl Stars have more that movement, right? And the dashes and you see more the movement on screen, so it's easier to measure that. I understand that. Even the other day, I was seeing Expectations video on how to beat Gargant in under whatever time it was, I don't remember. And it was basically, I think it was everyone with Technofist just like going through the corner and all of that. It was very like smooth. It was a great strategy to beat, but it was very, you go there, you like, and there's that like very twitchy movement. It wasn't there. So I get what you mean.
But what I wanted to say is because the cooldowns are lower, it's also can make it a bit more skilled for like the high level players because of animation canceling. The more you have your spells, the more you can animation cancel. Of course, it's not as flashy, but it does help to output more damage. So in a way, it's also more skillful to have lower cooldowns because you can animation cancel, if that makes sense. But I understand
I get
what you try to say. It's like I do agree. Yeah, it's not as flashy.
But yeah, if you want flashy stuff, I could also send you a run. I think something very flashy. I know I'm going out of subject a bit, but there's this run. I don't know if I can send it in the YouTube chat. Xpect you tell me if I'm allowed to send link.
You're probably gonna get time out, but just send it in Discord and I will put it open.
This run from Crescent, which is a sub 50 seconds of Royal Guard. When you see what he does with the boss, this is something you really understand. Wow,
Okay, 1 second.
they're owning the rift, but it's rare as we talked about it. And yeah, coming back to the small cooldowns, there's good and bad size. Bad size, I talked about it. The good size, yes, you can. Obviously, the guy that can spam deaden the fastest also wins overall. So there is some sort of skill suppression, I guess. You gotta
You
balance
want me
that.
to play it on stream, the one?
Oh,
or
you
no?
don't. I mean, it's just because Joao was talking about being impressed. I think there are some videos where some runs are. You don't have to play it. It's just if you're curious about stuff like this.
Yeah, I have a comment here. MOCO hype moments be like, wow, he used the lavish block shield against laser attack and chain ults 3 times. Impressive. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about the doges a little bit too, about the difficulties. So there's a lot of people who are like, doges are too easy. There's also a lot of people who are like, doges are too hard. What are your opinions on that? In my opinion, I want it to be harder, because at least the expert ones, like Headbanger was a bit harder. Yeah, the basic one from intermediate is from Technofist is bugged, so that's maybe not a great example. But like I like these very hard ones for experts, so you really have to do a few tries. What are your opinions on that? The difficulties for dojos.
Yeah, the difficulty is always a very, very, very tricky thing to measure, because what's easy for you is hard for someone else, and it's very hard to nail the spot, because if it's too easy, then people just clean it in one time, or many people clean in one time and don't play it anymore, and then you, I don't know, a content that you work so passionately, then people will play it for 2 minutes and that's it, and they are over it. But then we play too hard. If we make it too hard, yeah, maybe for expectation and they expect it's amazing, but then for the regular guy, they play 4 times, 5 times, and then it's so hard that they don't understand how can they beat that, and how can I improve, and then they just get frustrated and drop the game. So it's a bit hard to measure. I'm personally, if you ask personally, Joao, not MOCO team Joao, I believe more in the difficulty side of things, because if you make it right, then people will play again and again and try again and keep playing your game, because the other alternative is to make the content very, fast, like quickly digested, like you play for 2 minutes, it's too easy, you're done with it, gone. But I also understand the kind of the resistance of making too hard, because for many people they're like, what the hell, this is impossible, I'm going to drop this game because I don't even understand what's going on here.
But I feel like if I can beat expert without any course and the best time in expert, I feel that's a bit too easy. There is a lot of dodge. I might even do a video about it, where I can just put one hand in the air and play with one hand, or some have even done blindfolded and I win. I'm like, it's a bit too easy, But I do understand that you don't need mega charge course to be able to beat it. That would be bad, but at least like a charge or overcharge or something to be able to get there. Maybe have some really sweaty players test dojos and then do a time based on them. Like if they do it without course or like with the lowest course, and then add 5 or 10 seconds to it or something, so you have like a leeway. But I feel like some are just way too easy. Some are a bit hard, maybe a bit too hard. But I don't find them too hard, but I heard a lot of people are struggling with Headbanger. But I love that, but I know others don't. But yeah, some are just, I don't know. I don't need a strategy. I can just beat it even without course. I can just beat them in the best expert, and it's a bit, I don't know, disappointing to me personally.
Yeah, one thing that I can say already is that on this week, probably on Wednesday, we're going to drop an update just mostly for bug fixes. Mostly no, it's just going to be for bug fixes, and the bugs that we're going to fix as well is the adjusting that everyone is talking about. So the Technofist, where you can only beat with the glitch, so that's going to be fixed, and the time is going to be softer, of course. So we're going to fix the glitch, so no more glitch. Sorry, and that's why it's dangerous to do leaderboards for dojos, because then we fix, and then the leaderboards are old thing. So we're going to fix the glitch, but we're also going to make the time easier, and also for the Headbanger one, we're going to also adjust the requirement as well.
Okay.
How about you?
I have one more question about the rooftop. A lot of people would like to have their rooftop be private, so they can just be there alone without other people. could this be an option in the future? Because I think it's just makes people like laggy. I guess that's their concern. But if you fix the lag, then
Yeah.
it probably doesn't need to be implemented.
Yeah. Of course, lag is an issue that shouldn't happen. So
Yeah.
lag shouldn't be the reason that we decide to do a different way. But at the same time, I understand. I think the social hub, it looks amazing. Maybe it's not working as intended because you see a lot of people just like they're quiet all the time. And for example, it's a big area that no one is kind of using. For example, we did this mini event with Luna, and Luna it was a bit sad because Luna was playing there alone. It was the DJ, party and all of that. But then you go there and there's just like two players like asking what the hell is going on here. So that was an L from us. It didn't go as well, but of course, we also understand that. I mean, there has been talks within the team also, because there's also one of the wishes from the feedback that we get from community, and also even within the team that sometimes we think about it. What if we want to one day make the going back to the apartment, making the apartment more personalizable? So your achievements go to your apartment, and you make your apartment bigger. Then you can have visitors and all of that. So might be a way there in the future. You are in the apartment, and then you go outside if you want, and maybe you have only friends and all of that. But yeah, something is. I think the social hub looks amazing, but something is still off. So probably going to have improvements there as well, for sure.
Great.
So as you can see, we have a huge list of stuff that we need to do and improve.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to address everything right now in this stage of MOCO's life. But hopefully we can start to address these big things. So then we can start to address those small things that are important for many players as well. But yeah.
I have
People
another.
want to pet Nico.
Yeah.
Oh, Neko, yes, I know. That's another. So tomorrow, I'm not gonna forget. I'm gonna storm our team room and I'm gonna say, "Bunny rides, pet Neko again, please."
I see a lot of questions about like some type of trophy system. Will we ever get something like a ranked or with trophies where you can really grind up in leaderboards? Like not just leaderboards, but like ranking in leagues and stuff, where you can go up and down in rank, basically.
Yeah, so I've heard some whispers in our team about trophies as well. I don't know if and how are going to implement it, but the reason I'm saying this is that we are open for that. And actually, trophies might be a way to also add replayability to the content, because if you're fighting for trophies and if playing more and playing better will give you more trophies, then you want to play the content more. Of course, that's not the only way to add replayability. We also want to add variety to content. So even the same content you can play in different ways in many ways. But yeah, for sure, trophies is one of those ways. And I've been hearing whispers about trophies and all of that. Of course, we added the elite merits, which is supposed to be trophies, but they are not really working as trophies, and people are not engaging. Besides you guys of course engage a lot with the elite merits, but a lot of people are not engaging that much with those. So that's something that we need to look into as well.
What else do we have there?
I do have some other questions. One that was upvoted a lot was regarding the state of healer weapons from Real Fish. Because indeed, every weapon in the game now has its own way of healing itself. Otherwise, you would not be able to play by yourself, especially in expeditions. But the problem is that now, because of that, the healing weapons, we think of Vibe Shifter mostly, are kind of way too weak or even useless. And they were thinking, what was your take on that?
So the question is, healing weapons right now are not as appealing as before. Is that it?
I can tell you exactly what the title says. It is. Oh wait, it's not here. Sorry.
While you're on it, HX, Void asked if you ask about pigeons. Is it
yeah,
maybe
dancing pigeon?
Simkins?
Void wants to see the dancing pigeon in the HQ.
So Bunny Mount, Cat Neko, a dancing pigeon. Okay, got it.
Okay, so how's the future for support weapons? Was the question exactly?
How is the future for what? Sorry,
support weapons.
Oh, that's a good question. I know for a fact that comparing to MOCO, yeah, that's true. Supporting weapons kind of took a step back, especially with this new gameplay style and all of that. And yeah, there's also the fact that you can heal yourself and heal others with most, if not all, weapons. That's also a fact. Yeah, that makes support weapons less appealing, even though there's even this joke that no one wants to be a healer, but still, yeah, that's a good question. That's I really don't know how to answer because I also don't see a lot of supporting weapons in our list. So maybe supporting weapons won't be as much of a thing as in Oldco. Maybe even Pipe Shipper needs a bit of a boost in the DPS as well to make it more interesting.
Yeah, but it's bugged right now
I think
too.
that's one of. Sorry?
The attack speed core on the Vibe Shifter does not work for the damage. So I think if that's fixed, that already helps the bunch. And then see how much more love it needs after that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just like all weapons have supporting features, then I guess supporting weapons need to have a bit of other features to make them more interesting. But at the same time, yeah, that's true that with this new version, we earned some things, but the trade-off was that even the typical, let's say, tank DPS heal is a bit less interesting as before. That's I guess the trade-off of this new MOCO in that regard as well.
Yeah, and maybe the way.
How do you guys feel about it?
I think support weapons were not even a thing in old code, to be honest, because the tank was also the support at the same time.
Yes.
But I think we have to, if you want support weapons to be good, we might have to forget about only caring about healing and start caring about movement speed, attack speed, damage boost, canceling crowd controls. I don't know, putting jump pads on the world, because otherwise, I don't see a future with the healing weapons.
Yeah, shields and stuff too, right? Like give everyone a lava shield, for example, buff the attack speeds.
Yeah, of course. When we talk about supporting weapons, I was answering mostly about healing, but yeah, I guess the support with MOCO comes with those types of varieties and less about maybe healing, for sure.
Another top voted question from IP was regarding the weekend events we used to have back in chapter 1 and chapter 2, where maybe not every week, but for a lot of weekends, you had an event starting on Friday, ending on Monday, where you had some special 3-player, 4-player rifts with a small leaderboard. People could compete in them with sometimes an event pass. And IP was wondering if they would come back or what was the plan.
So the idea is that MOCO is all about events. In that regard, you stop having weekend events because everything is an event, right? And that's more or less what's happening. Every week you have new rifts, new stuff happening, and then they go away, come new one, and all of that. And then you have the special stuff, which is the Gargant or the Mecha stuff or everything. Those are, let's say, the replacement of the weekend events, which is the variety that we add to add new stuff. So it's not exactly the same, let's say, how do I say, the same structure. But one thing that I got from there, which is quite interesting, which is, and I kind of agree with that, is that our game is not the calendar of our game is not balanced towards weekends. And of course, not everyone is available on weekends. So people work on weekends, some people do stuff on weekends, but it's mostly on weekends that people are free regularly. But then our calendar is not balanced towards that way. And that's an interesting fact. Maybe that's something that we could work on it to make it better, which is even for you guys that hunt the leaderboards and all of that, maybe have more time on weekend to do that, and maybe that weekend that's the time where you compete, and maybe the other times that's where you relax more. I don't know, but for sure that's that's an interesting point where the game maybe it's not balanced towards weekend.
I just had a question from Hydrox again, this time regarding perks. I will actually combine two questions into one. So the first question was, if you were a season 1 player and you already got all your weapons, it feels like perks are kind of useless because you don't really get much from them. And Hydrox was wondering if you would bring new weapons in the perks for the old players. And I will combine it as well with a question from Cyrus on these perks as well, where for a player that will start the game, I don't know, in season 5, 6, and will have tons of weapons in the perks, will it not be a RNG nightmare to go through all these weapons?
Again, that's another issue that might need addressing adjustment when we get there. I mean, it's not very different than what happens, for example, we talked about Brawl Stars. Brawl Stars is you get brawlers to a bunch of perks. That's their box system, right? Now it's the stars and all of that. So it's not that different. If it's gonna need readjustment in terms of the like the probabilities and all of that, yeah, maybe, likely. Of course, the economy is going to be very different with 30 weapons than with 3. And of course, for old players that start from season 1 and have old weapons, perks are not going to be interesting. But of course, like the number of players, the more time it passes, the number of players that are old players, it's going to be a much smaller percentage. So I guess the system was also to think about the future a bit and giving away of players to get the old weapons. Now, if perks are going to be working the same way forever, maybe not. Maybe there's going to be different ways to get weapons. That's quite likely. But for now, perks are meant.
They can also just make a guaranteed one, right? After 5 weapons, you get a guaranteed ticket where you can choose which weapon you like or something. So you still have some type of control, or every 3. I don't know how many weapons. But it could be included in the tickets as well.
Yeah, but that's a very good point where, I don't know, you're a new player, you get to the game on season 7 or 8, and there's, I don't know, 30 weapons in the game, and only 3 you have agency to choose. The other ones are, as you said, that are RNG nightmare. How do we add that agency for players to choose their weapon? That's a good point. Maybe when you get there, we're gonna have to do things a different way to add a bit of agency for players to pick their weapons, because otherwise, 90% of weapons are going to be RNG based, and maybe that's not fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was also that concern if later on a new player unlocks Singularity first, 5 complexity weapon, isn't that a bit too harsh for the new player? Or will you?
Yeah, so for now you always have this, at least for now, the speed shot and the headbanger. So those are your new. So you always have speed shot, even headbanger. I remember there was a discussion like, is this the right weapon for a new player? Because as you say, there's some mechanics that are a bit complicated for a headbanger. It's a fun weapon for sure, but it's a bit complicated. So even if the third weapon is going to be Singularity, players always start at least with the speed shot, which is very basic to use. But yeah, it's kind of scary when you get Singularity as your third weapon. That I agree.
Another question from Brightest Night. Will MOCO have crossovers with other Supercell games?
Too early to talk about that.
Okay.
Very, very early to talk about that. Right now, we're finding our own way, our own path. I think the answer is going to be yes, the same way as it's going to be yes when we're ready to go bigger. And when we feel that our restaurant, people are coming back to our restaurant and we want to open more restaurants, we're going to ask help from the other restaurants to promote our restaurant as well.
Okay. I have one more question about the wolf stick. We have a wolf stick, which is epic weapon skin, and that skin has like a pharaoh crocodile type of skin. But this season's pass is also a weapon, an epic rarity. Why does this one not have a custom skin for the wolf?
You mean the new one or the old one?
The new one. The old one got fixed, so it was bugged. Yeah, so this one has like a skin, but the new one is the same rarity. So you would think if it's the same epic rarity, it would also get a custom skin, right, for the wolf?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Let me write that because actually I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know why being happy doesn't have. I don't think it's a bug, but I'm gonna write that and I'm gonna answer directly to display right away and try to understand. So new wolf stick skin.
I have
Right.
one more
I'm not
point.
gonna forget about
Yeah, I
this.
have one more point about the wolf stick. Some people would have liked it if the wolf, for example, also had a golden glow. But maybe I don't know if that's
Yes.
possible. But it's kind of part of the weapon. Could it also
Mhm.
be golden, or like summon things can be golden, not just a weapon? But that's a particle effect, maybe. So I'm not sure if that's gonna be possible. Would be cool.
The yeah, you mean like the shader that you get on the masteries?
Yeah, the mastery shader. If it also could go on the wall, for example, or like other summoner weapons we get in the future, that could also be a bit gold. I'm not sure if that's possible from a dev standpoint, but I think it would be cool.
That'll be cool. That's giving me Super Saiyan Wolf vibe.
Yeah, because the wolf, you have the stick and the wolf to make the wolf stick, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, you can argue that it's a weapon shader, not a pet shader. Doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it's not a good idea
Okay.
to give shaders to pets as well. So
I still miss the chicken staff. I would like to see that one back, maybe with chimkins, because the chimkins are gone out of the rooftop. They're now pigeons, so we're missing the chimkins.
the chimkins, yeah, maybe the chimkins will come back. Who knows? Anything can happen.
Talking about skins, another question from Leo's Paradox regarding Supercell Make, which is something Supercell does with at least Brawl Stars, maybe other games, where the community can design skins for their games. Can this be something with MOCO?
Yeah, I mean, we're open for that. Again, it's one of those things that again might be a bit early to do, but I mean, there's no harm to do a Supercell make. I mean, we did a skin contest on Discord in the past. Happy to organize one if people are happy to. Yeah, why not? That's a good possibility. I feel like nowadays Supercell make it's a bit trickier to do because of AI. So it's very hard to, and it will be more and more hard to separate what's AI and what's real.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky to do Supercell make. I know the pain of my colleagues in Brawl that sometimes they organize these Supercell makes and many of them are AI, and it's going to be more and more hard to separate which one is which. But I mean, that doesn't mean that we can't run it. It's just another problem that we need to face, of course.
Yeah, but it's cool that you're open to the idea at least.
Yeah, of course.
So who's making that Xpect skin? Or the HX or the Joao skin?
The Joao ride is that there's no ride because you keep forgetting to use it. What could be said?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
It's just a pop up like a
I'm
bubble. Oops.
yeah. So that's my thing. I'm the one that forgets to use the ride.
A car ride, I see too. Joao, a car ride. People want cars apparently as well as a ride. So, bunny
helicopters,
car.
planes.
Yeah, we have the motos. Why not the car as well? Why not?
There was
GTA car in MOCO before GTA 6.
okay. Noted.
Joao
There
in
was a
prison
take-
skin.
There was a take regarding esports from Tom. You mentioned potentially hosting esports tournaments on one of your earlier podcasts. I just have to ask, is it planned for the near future of the game, or are you currently prioritizing other aspects?
Yeah, that's the other aspect. I might, like this is a personal zone thing. How much I am passionate for esports and how much I see the potential of esports in MOCO. Even did this. I mean, we did. Xpect did everything. I was just like there supporting and giving a couple of ideas. But you know how much I see the potential of esports in MOCO. But for us to run esports, we need systems that are not priority right now, which is we need first spectate option to spectate because it allows people to live stream the competitions, and by allowing to live stream, it gives the potential for organizers, competitors to live stream it in a good quality productions live. There are other systems that would be cool to have. If I can give you, this is like my kind of my wish list, but don't take this as something that is going to go to the game. But I would love to have like a dedicated portal just for esports, where we have our own events, we choose our own events. Maybe everything is kept, so there's no gems, there's no like the gem kind of thing. But these are just dreams. We are very far away. Unfortunately, we are still far away from that. But I hope we get there, because that's something that I'm passionate for, of course.
Oh, that's quite hyped, actually, what I'm hearing. But yeah, if there had to be one thing to at least help making tournaments, it would be making sure everyone can be on the same level, whether it's no cores or max cores, because this is the #1 problem right now.
Yeah, and between no cores and max cores, I imagine it's no cores, because max cores there's the crit RNG.
Yes and no, because I guess people are used to being max scores. I mean, I guess there's both have their own points.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, as long as everyone is on the same level. I think we talked about it, but just to make sure, because it's also something we see very often, MEA or no MEA, controller support. Any news regarding a possible controller support addition or not, or what's the view on that?
Yeah, that's another thing. Those are the systems that if we add, they have to stay. Then, for example, it will be tricky to add controller support, and then, for example, aiming. Those again are like conflicting things. I mean, I also don't see why not, but again, it's one of those things that, as you can see, there's so many little things that you can think, okay, this is easy to implement, so why don't you just do it? But then there's millions of little things that we need to implement, so why don't we just do it on top of the big things that we want to implement, because we really need to do it. So if you think about one small thing that we could be doing it, but we are not, just think about this is one of those millions of little things that we should be doing it. And there's a huge list of stuff that we still want to do with the game. So don't take it personally or don't take it badly if the gamepad support is taking its time. But I'm not sure that gameplay support, it's not going to be the deciding factor between this game thriving or not. It's just one of those things that make the game better. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just a matter of time. I can tell you that I already tested the game with gamepad, with tricks, with like kind of a trick, and it feels quite good actually. But at the end of the day, the game needs to work with mobile, with a screen. That's how 90% of players will play. So.
I have one more question. My thumbnail artist asked, Live in a Vibe. He would want to know when we can expect new monsters in the game. Is there like a plan for that already, and worlds and monsters? Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was not talked enough, and maybe mea culpa out of it, because we are still using the same monsters as old MOCO, which of course for current players, like where are the new monsters, right? Why are we recycling content? But again, because we are on this, let's say, unofficial, not beta, but it's not beta. And also the new players also matter a lot, because actually the feedback of new players is very important, because they don't have the baggage of old MOCO or even the material beta, and sometimes this clean slate gives us even a better insight of if the game is working well or not for those players. And so, because it was already a huge effort to reiterate the game for this new system, which maybe what players sees in the game, it's like it's not that different, it's just rotating events, but the tech behind it was a lot of work. The invisible stuff to make this game what it is right now, with these systems that are kind of more in the how do I say, in the cloud instead of in the game, and rotating those events and creating these gargants and these mechas to all of that to be possible. It was a huge effort. That's the invisible effort that people don't see. it took a lot of time. So it means that we kind of deprioritize making new monsters, but yeah, those are now will start coming. So I expect. I think now the cat monsters are going to coming more frequently in the next seasons as well, and then after that there's going to be new monsters as well. So
Okay.
that's going to be next step. And of course, like making these monsters takes a lot of time and energy. That's something that can't be ignored, which is it takes much more effort to make a PvE game compared to a PvP game, because you always have to make a lot of content to keep things fresh. Again, you do a Gargant that takes a huge effort, and then that Gargant maybe it's played for 20 minutes, right? Whereas if you do a Clash Royale card, for example, and of course it takes a lot of effort to do those as well, but then players play that for hours and hours, right? So there's the challenge of us as a PvE game to keep the content fresh, and that's why it's important for us to also make the game replayable. So it's very important to bring new monsters, but also equally important to keep the old monsters fresh too.
Because you said it takes a lot of time to create new monsters, but we have seen enormous dashers, tiny glutons, which are variations of old monsters. I guess that's way easier to implement because these are technically
Yeah, of
fresh
course.
for us. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Those variations, it's let's say a easier way to bring this variety. But of course, new monsters, nothing beats the playing a new monster, right? That feeling, nothing beats. But of course, variations of old monsters is always a good compromise between novelty and replayability.
Great. So I think we talked about it just to make sure, because I really want to make sure the most voted questions are getting answered. Mecha
Yeah, I
Godzilla.
remember.
Sorry.
I remember one on Discord was one of the most top voted ones, and I don't want to run away from hard questions, because I think it was one of the players that was asking about our vision, all of that, but he also said that one of the biggest problems in MOCO is lack of communication, and because I'm a community manager, it also touches me. So I want to address that. First, I want to ask your opinion, and of course, things can always improve and do better. And of course, we weren't always super communicative, but also looking back, for example, Neo MOCO, which was launched 1 month ago, everything was covered from, I don't know, from top to bottom. We had creators here. We did podcasts. We showed sneak peeks and all of that. So it was not a surprise how the game would look like. And then I think he mentioned about getting masteries and getting new weapons as a surprise, but it will be nicer to know in advance. One of the things that's important for a game and everything, it's also the novelty, right? To the ability to surprise players. So if you tell everything beforehand, then when we launch those updates and all of that, it's not. Then we don't get that hype and novelty effect. So one thing that I want to do more like slowly and steadily, when makes more sense, when the game gets more stable, is that, not creating that expectation that we're going to tell everything in advance. But at the same time, during these periods where things are a bit more uncertain and I feel the community is a bit more anxious, maybe I still need to readjust a bit to still give more the juice and all of that. On the other hand, I also want to say that game development is not as exciting as it looks, right? You don't have like new stuff to tell every week or anything. Most of the times you make a decision and then you work to execute it, and that work takes a bit of time. With that being said, and acknowledging that communication wasn't always perfect, I would also like to hear your opinion on where that communication could be better. What kind of stuff do you want to hear from us, and where and in what way, and where it failed, where it was good. I would be very happy to hear about it.
Chat, you can type if you want. I think what I mean with more communication is more on like what are you working on like concerns people have with optimization, for example, the lag, or if there's like a bug or something that you just address it, or we're working on it or something. I think that's more what they mean, but I could be wrong. And maybe the sneak peek's a little bit earlier before the new season
Oh,
comes.
please.
Mhm.
But yeah, if
Yeah,
there's
on the
anything
sneak peek,
else, chat, then yeah.
yeah, on the sneak peek, which is something that touches you guys a bit more. It's um, again, right now MOCO is in this state where everything is a bit less. How do I say? Being a
Less,
new game, a bit less last minute things change and all of that.
yeah.
So it makes also the sneak peeks a bit more tricky. But it's something that I promise you guys it's going to improve with time more and more. Um, with a bigger team as well, that will help. But yeah, of course we are doing our best on our side to make those conditions better.
Misty is asking if there will be more AMAs after this.
Yeah.
In the
So one
future.
of the things that one of the things when I come back that I want to try to do is doing kind of this more less doesn't need to be official, but something that I just come here on camera, grab the game, play the game a bit, and answer questions more casually without being an organized AMA. That's something that I want to chase maybe in August. Maybe that will help at least to have my presence, because what I feel when I hear this lack of communication, of course I hear lack of communication, but I'm hearing a lot from our community is like anxiety over the future of our game. And when people don't have news about it, they start to imagine that, oh, the game is going bad and we're gonna kill the game or anything, and it's not like that. And I think if I just say, hey, this is all very according to plan. We know that the game is not there yet. There's still a lot of work in the game, and we're still very confident with the game and putting the work. So no one needs to worry for now, at least for now, about it. Might be a point where we're gonna go big. Might be a point where we see, okay, something is not working, and we need to make a decision. But for now, that's not it. We're not close to it. We still have a lot of work to do and a lot of ideas to put out there and to make the game work. So that's fine. And this is for already answer. So I'm playing 4D chess because it's 29th of June. And so 1st of July, all the tweets with the revenue are going to come out. And I know exactly what everyone is going to say. New MOCO launch, they are only making, I don't know how much. The game is going to be X'd. No, that's not it. Quite the opposite. The monetization, considering our player base, is quite working well. That's not one of our problems. In fact, it's the opposite. It feels like it's working even better than what we expected in that regard. It gives us a lot of confidence to keep the game free to play, so no play to win, which is quite good news.
Yeah. Insane.
I think that's something that's just human psychology. If we don't know about something as a silence, we fill it in with negativity. We do it too with like if there's a person you really really like and you text them and they don't text back. We have all of these scenarios are negative in our head, but like sometimes it's just I don't know. Then played a sport or something, or that went to sleep or whatever. But in our head, it's the worst case scenario. So I think this is also like at play a little bit. The silence is making people worry about it being X'd, and then one person start to say, "Oh, MOCO that game," and then someone else hops on it, and then if you go to Reddit, it's a whole negative spiral thing. So I hope the community in itself also turns a bit more positive, give positive feedback, or just give feedback. Not just saying this is bad. Tell them how can they possibly fix it, and not just be like, "Oh, that game. This is not helping anyone." You know.
Yeah, of course, and it's a bit on our side. It's also a bit managing a bit how communicative we are, but what do we have to say that's meaningful for players, right? Because I mean, we launched the game and we don't have anything meaningful to say after 2 weeks, right? I mean, it's still everything is fresh. We're still analyzing. We're still looking at. Even today, I'm gonna be honest. I did this AMA, and I hope I brought a lot of meaningful stuff. But the
Oh, for
juicy
sure.
stuff that we still have to say, it's gonna be like in August after we have like 2 months or 3 months of data and feedback and all of that, and we have like more hard decisions that we did, or at least more, how do I say, definite decisions that are palpable and we can tell to the community. That's about it. again, game development, at least on our side, it's not as exciting. So we don't have news every week or something. Most of the time, it's just working, and working on stuff. I think that's a angle. That angle that many people have, which is feels like game development. You press a button and you have an idea, you press a button, and the idea is out there. Maybe now with AI and all of that, people think it's maybe it's realistic now. I don't know, but it's not our case. So things take time a bit. So, but at least that's something that I understand that it's been a pain point with the community, which is. There's 1 week without anything new, the game is gonna die. So it's fine, guys. We have a lot of cool stuff still cooking.
Yes. If I can say something regarding communication, if you would have asked me that question, are we communicating enough back in September of last year, I would have probably been very negative and mean, saying that we have zero transparency and we don't know anything about what's going on. But over time and all the way until today, I think it has only gone better and better and better. It's way more clear and it's very pleasant, I would say. Even though maybe some people would like more activity, I feel like one tweet, I don't know, every week, you can even just answer someone that is asking you a question on Twitter, Just having this sign of life is so great for players that don't necessarily know what's going on behind the scenes. It's something you're doing more and more.
I get
so
that.
that's great.
And you're talking in September. We have a thing in I don't know if there's anyone from Portugal here in the chats. I'm very curious to hear. But we have this saying in Portugal, which is you can't make omelets without eggs. I don't know if you say that in English, but in Portuguese you say.
Okay.
And maybe and maybe in September we had nothing to say, Maybe in September we were like, okay, I think we're going to pivot this game, but how we're going to pivot, how we're going to do it, and if we're going to tell players this, they're going to panic because we're just saying we're going to pivot, but we don't have anything. So what we're going to say to them. So sometimes saying it's bad, but not saying it's bad as well. I also had the experience where okay, someone asked me to do the Sue. I also had the experience where I tried to be more present, but because I didn't have anything new to say, then I was kind of accused of giving like nothing burger kind of information. So I was giving nothing. So sometimes it's just a reflection of how things are. And one thing that we've been criticized for is because of us being too slow, right? We are slow to ship things out or slow to put new content. And maybe that's true. Maybe we are too slow. Maybe we need to be faster in delivering content, in putting the content out there, and maybe that's what's missing, and that's something that we're getting better and better. Monsters are getting easier to do. The team is like still small, especially for a PV game, still small, but slowly getting bigger. Right now we are stable. We're not growing anymore, but still improving our systems to make the game faster. But yeah, maybe that's the reason behind it. It's maybe we are too slow. Maybe this update took too long to come out, and players felt that because it was almost a year, and then after a year they see the game is not still on the ideal state that they want to be, and they got desperate and fearful about the game, and everything mixed together kind of makes all these feedbacks like game is stale, the game is die, lack of communication. No. Because at the end of the day, I mean, most of the games, I see a lot of games that the CMs are not talking every day saying this or that, right? Because those games are stable, and people have confidence on those games. Our game is not on that position, so maybe people need a bit more reassurance, and I understand that, and I really understand that. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'll keep being here, of course.
And one more thing on communication. This is more of like from a creator standpoint. I feel like as a creator, we are very included into everything. I personally feel very hurt, and I feel like our feedback really gets looked at and like get communicated back, like your opinions and stuff on the matter. So in that regard, like from a creator standpoint, I find it like very pleasant working with the MOCO team. So I find that also had to be said, because the public doesn't know about all the communications we do, but as a creator, like it's really like I feel included, which you don't always have with other games. So that's really great.
Yeah, one thing that's the reason for that, and it's not maybe people from outside is like, oh, they only care about creators. I don't know if they're going to say that or not. I'm just again doing a 8 Mile kind of thing and trying to predict the comments. But what I can say about that is that when we say something public, it's going to be permanent. Even if I say something, and I said a lot of things here on this live stream that aren't certain yet. I talk about things that we might implement and we never implement. But if someone grabs that, they're gonna feel that it's permanent. So everything that we say needs to have kind of a more kind of a certain kind of way. Where when we talk with you guys, it can be something very vague and obscure, and we're not sure. And we talk with you guys, and because it's an NDA space, we can talk with you guys, and you understand if what we're saying it's not going to happen or anything. So it's a safer space because of that thing. So it allows us to be more communicative in that way. But yeah, I'm glad hearing Xpect it's getting better. But if it needs to get better, let's make it even better, and we are here for that.
Coming to that point about the creators, so I will agree with Xpect that you've been listening a lot when you're a creator, and I also hear the fact that you can talk about very blurry stuff because of NDA and everything. But I personally, as someone that wasn't a creator and that became a creator in February or March, I definitely felt a difference. And maybe in the wrong way, I feel like it's just such a big gap from being creator or not, the how much you're being listened to. That's yeah, I don't know what's the solution because I don't have one, but there definitely is a gap that is so big. I feel like somehow maybe the community could be heard more, maybe through the creators themselves. I don't know, but there definitely is a difference. I must.
Yeah, of course.
admit.
So one solution for that, and of course not making excuses for myself, is a bigger team. My day is also only 8 hours, and sometimes I'm putting out so much fire that unfortunately I don't have time for anything. For example, I would love to be more present on Discord, or I would love to be more present in other ways. But especially at Supercell, being community manager is more than just being community manager. You do so much stuff that sometimes you even ask yourself, are you a community manager or something else? So there's also that. But hopefully that's something that if the game goes, then the community team is going to be bigger. Then we can give more, also more attention to different sides of the community, and things get better. So that's a bit like how a game.
Is there any way how we can help as super creators being to like take some load off your chest or?
No, you're helping a lot. I mean, we are doing this. I mean, you're putting this platform so I can do MIA, so I don't have to worry for now to make my setup and making my overlays and all of that. And at the same time, I'm giving you spotlight as well to you and Xpect, maybe Xpect in a different way. But I am also giving you a platform because you guys have been maybe the on the driving seat on the MOCO community and the creators. So that's also a way to give back in a way, but also you guys are helping me to make this so easy to to answer everyone's answers and questions and all of that.
Okay.
Big hug. Yeah, we went through most of the things. I don't know how long you want to stay, Joao. We still have some questions.
I mean, yeah, I would love to hear if you have you two also have questions. I'm happy, or we can read also questions from a couple of questions from the chat. But
I have one question that
I don't know
haven't seen yet.
I have time.
So,
I have time.
Yeah.
I've bundled out some time, so for me it's fine if we just go to the chat questions after HX asked that one question maybe that you want to ask.
Yeah, I just had one that is rough, very general. Because when we talk MOCO, it's always sorry, when we talk about MOCO and a problem, it's always, oh, it's Joe's fault. Oh my God, Joe, fix the game. Oh my God, Joe, what are you doing? Oh, it's Joe. And in reality, you're not the one behind all of this. Sometimes you maybe don't even make the decision or anything. And I was wondering, when a decision is made by the game, I don't know, for example, creating a new weapon or coming up with a new rift or whatever, can you share with us roughly how many people work on that? How big is the design team actually? And is there a process to go through that?
Of course, first of all, I get the blame when things go wrong, but when things go right, I also get the credit sometimes for things that I'm not, I shouldn't be credit for. So there's always the other side of the coin, and that's what it means to be a community manager, of course. So if there was a problem, I wouldn't be doing this job, of course. So it's very normal that, I mean, I'm the one talking in behalf of the team, so it's normal that people end up pointing things at me, and that's fine. That's what I'm here for, of course, as well. And also not taking away the responsibility. I'm not just to be a messenger. I'm the one that first brings the voice of the community to the team, and I'm also part of the team. So I mean, everyone is responsible for the failures and the successes. So I'm not here just to say, oh, I'm just a messenger. If something doesn't go well, it was not me. I'm just here telling. No, I'm part of the team as well. I have a voice in the team, and that voice hopefully has influence or not. And if I voice it correctly, I can make the game drive towards what the community wants a bit better. So the responsibility for the successes and failures are also mine. I'm here to take those failures as well.
It's also funny to
now
me. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. It's also funny to me from the credit part, because there's a lot of people who actually think I'm a developer, but guys, I'm just a creator. Okay, I'm an ear whisperer. I don't have more control than that. But it's just funny to me that people actually like believe that I'm a dev or something, and they're like complaining to me like, "Oh my god, this needs to be done. How dare you do this?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just playing the game, man. I'm just sharing what's out there.
Yeah. Regarding decision making, one of the good things about Supercell and one of the reasons why I like to work here is that you can have your role, but it's a very how do I say, collaborative space, in a way that anyone can talk about any area, of course, with certain limits, of course, but it's a very you can collaborate in any way that you can if you are willing to. And sometimes I collaborate in ways that are maybe not community manager ways, but I feel that I can help as well. So I do it, and other team members as well. Either way, when it's game design stuff, it's of course the designer team that makes those decisions. Those are a group of, I think, I'm not sure, 6 people, I think. Of course, different designs do different things. There's like the someone does the content, someone does the weapons, someone does this and that, someone plans the features and all of that. So those are the ones that make the decisions. But even them are super open for ideas from the rest of the team, whoever there is. And some of the times those ideas are come from areas that are not designed, and the designers take those ideas and transform them into their own vision as well. Same for community as well. Many times, maybe more often than not, community event ideas also come from other areas, including design as well. So yeah, it's like Supercell. It's not like a place where you're just doing your stuff and all of that, which can be good, but also can be bad if you're like very motivated. Because for me, because I like to be involved with a lot of stuff, I end up taking more time in doing other stuff as well, which is cool. Makes my day more interesting, and makes me feel like I can collaborate, and I can improve things in different ways. But yeah, it's an interesting place in terms of decision making, which is very energetic and collaborative, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I see a question in the chat. Wait, where was it? Someone's asking if they will ever get to meet a team in like a video or something where you go over the MOCO team. Will that ever be a thing?
Yeah. So here's the thing: we had the podcast with some team members, but I would also say that most people don't want to be exposed or be on a camera, and that's very normal and natural.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to be a public figure, and especially at Supercell, maybe not at MOCO, but at Supercell, a lot of eyes are on you when you're there on camera, and sometimes people are not as nice to devs online because I mean, you read the comments, and
Yeah.
one thing is feedback, another thing is insulting, and most of them are quite unfair. To be honest, when it comes to personal insults. I think it's like I can tell you that our team is some of the smartest people I ever met. But it's so hard to make a game nowadays, and it's so easy to judge when things are done. It's a bit like football, right? When the team loses, it's very easy to blame the coach on the decisions, but that's easy because you already saw the outcome of those decisions, of course. It doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. Oh, we did. We already did mistakes, a lot of them. But those mistakes are always more obvious when they are out there. And even speaking, like if you think about MOCO, you guys tested it, especially you, Expectation, Xpect, and was not super creator. And I'm sure that you overlook things that are obvious problem now, but back then you didn't even notice, right? That's how things are. And of course, we still make mistakes, but I'm very lucky to work with some of the smartest people in the industry, and it's very hard to make a game thrive nowadays. So many games out there, more and more games, more people doing games, less people playing games. If there's someone that will make this game thrive, is the people that I work with every day, and I'm lucky to.
Okay. Is there any more questions in the chat, guys? If you have any questions, feel free to pick up any questions you see, HX or Joao, you want to answer. Will the
Or
crit
rework
core
the
be
crit?
remained? Yeah.
Crit rework.
I think a few options would be crit every X amount of times. Every fifth hit is a crit, or every 2 seconds is a crit, or something like that.
Basically, we got some ideas already passed to the team. And then, of course, I don't know if we're going to rework the crit core or if we're going to work the whole thing of the crit core. So that's why maybe things
there is
more time too. But
one more thing in the course which I find very confusing. You have healing, but also healing received. I feel like it should be one core just for everything healing, and then maybe have another core movement speed or something. I don't know, something else. But it's very confusing. Like, what is the healing part? What is healing received? If I heal myself, is that also healing received, or is that healing? Like, it's very confusing. What is what?
Yeah, there's a lot of confusing things with the upgrade cores. For example, even the rarities, they are not very. You don't understand between rarities which one is which. Even I play the game and I'm part of the team, and still, of course, I know which one is the mega charge and the overcharge and all of that, but they feel very similar and maybe not as special when you get one. One of the ideas that was going around, not sure that we're going to do that or not, but instead of, for example, when you get a mega charge, instead of getting a mega charge, you get like a bunch of charge scores, like a rain of XP, and then you feel that's more special, and then you can just fuse them, all of that, which would be a simple way of making them more special or something like that. But still, there's obviously the system is not perfect, and we're looking into it to improve it.
And there was another question about cores. Will there ever be, but you probably don't know it yet, a higher rarity than mega, like a hyper core or something, or a giga core over time?
I don't know.
I don't know. Hyper core.
I don't know if the problem of the upgrade cores is lack of rarities.
Yeah.
So probably I would say no, but you never know. Maybe I'll say no, and then tomorrow I get to the office like, hey, you know about the new Gigacore?
I
I was
think the
like, okay, cool.
question. I think the question is there because there's a lot of the top leaderboard players have the course max already. So to them, like Xpect said it earlier in the stream as well, it's not as special anymore to get a core because you have them already. So that's probably where the question came from.
That could be a question. Is what are you planning something for the people that are maxed? I know it's a small percentage of the player base, but it might get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Or even translating them into
again,
cosmetics. It could be something like this.
The what? Sorry.
You could translate them into cosmetics if you don't want to make the people stronger, but just having something to do with your course.
Yeah, I get that. For now, there's nothing like in place. It's more likely that, again, without like promising anything, but it's more likely that we will work the system than to improve the system.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I can. One thing that I can tell you in advance that we're gonna have the break, which some of our community hates that we go on vacation, but we're still gonna do it. Sorry, because I gotta tell you, like usually after vacation, it's when people come energized with a lot of great ideas and all of that. So it's also positive. But after that, maybe in August or September, I will be back with spilling a lot of tea. In what format, I haven't thought about it, but yeah, we'll be back.
Will there be a way to go underground, like taking stairs up and down, or lifts to a new location in game? Like dungeons or something, like you have a world and there's like a secret dungeon you have to go in and do stuff.
I feel like I heard about that game somewhere, going on elevators and stairs. Yeah, I don't know why not. I haven't heard about anything about that yet, but I don't see why not. Maybe it gives a good. It's another layer of variety that you can add to Rifts for sure.
Yeah, or just worlds to explore more. I don't know, because right now we do the
I
worlds,
think,
but you don't do them fully. You don't really explore the worlds to really appreciate what the world is. But if there's these hidden things, Easter eggs where you can have things open, then I think it would be more engaging to go explore.
World need the big addressing for sure. I think world right now are very well, they are stale, you go there because you have to. I even say this as a joke that the world is like you playing this sleep meditative state where you're kind of playing but not playing. Your brain goes somewhere else, so you're playing, following the dots, but not really there. But I think we need to add a bit more dopamine and excitement to it, for sure. And we are looking into it.
If you see any interesting questions, you can pull them out.
Yeah, there's one, but I don't think you will answer it because there's always this thing of the community wanting to know what's the most OG skin or the rarest title, rarest everything, And so the question that comes a lot is, what is the rarest title? What is the rarest cosmetic? Or do you have numbers on how many people own what title? So I think most people think of the OG crew title or the bean skin, and people want numbers, but I'm not sure you have them. Or can
I don't have them right now. The numbers, I don't have them here on my computer. I mean, I can ask them. I mean, the rarest skin might be the. I mean, I'm not talking about the bean one, which is very exclusive, but the rarest one might be the one that no one bought because it was so bad. So, just looking at numbers, it's a bit, misleading because it might be just a skin that no one cared about it. It was so ugly that only 2 people bought, and now it's super rare because of it. I don't know. That's a good question in terms of titles. Which one? I mean, for sure, the OG title is quite rare, but that was but also the old MOCO, because it was it was launch of a new Supercell game. It brought a lot of attention. I'm sure that the Neo Hunter, because it was a bit more low key, the relaunch was a bit more chill and calm. There was no big creator push involved in all of that. Maybe the Neo Hunter one, less people have it. But of course, there are these titles. I remember, I forgot the title. There was one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
those of course are rare. There was
PvP,
one weekend
yeah.
event that was so hard that very little people
Button
got it. I
masher,
forgot the
button
name of the.
masher, button
Yes,
Button
the
masher.
button
masher.
Yeah,
masher.
I don't
Yes,
even have it because
the button.
I got annoyed about having to play it and then losing so much points. I just stopped. I don't even have it.
No way, you don't have the button masher.
No,
Even I think I have the button masher.
I don't.
No,
I
zero
think I
double
have
I
the
was
button
zero.
I
masher.
was so frustrated. I
Yeah,
was one win away, and then I don't know, something happened, and I was like last place, and I lost so many points. I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this. I stopped. I crashed
yeah,
out.
yeah. Probably that one is quite rare for sure because it was so hard. I have no answer here, but I'm thinking about some titles that were quite rare because of that.
I see another question about the collector level. Will it be shown in a more visible way than it currently is, or no?
Yeah, yeah. I know the collector level is something that some players care about, and I think the biggest concern with the team is also to not make the player UI too, too clustered with a
Yeah.
lot of stuff, so too busy. Uh, so we at the end of the day we have to make choices, right? Doesn't mean that collector level is not important and it's there. I'm still not sure if it's so. What would we remove to put the collector level and not make things too busy as well? So yeah, it's a hard thing to do without, because you either show only some things that you feel that it's more important, but then it's not the maybe some for other people most important thing is collector level. That's what they want to show, and it makes sense for them because they show like the the cosmetics that they have and all of that. But then if you put everything, then the UI becomes like a massive ball of information that's trying to communicate everything, doesn't communicate anything. So it's about making choices. So
But what if it's not? Sorry. What if it's not a badge, but maybe at certain collector level things we get other things like some type of rare skins or something. I don't know. Like you have it, in, for example, in Diablo Immortal, something where you have these wings, stuff like that. So it could be more cosmetic based, where you get some additional things on your character based on your collector level, maybe.
yeah, for sure, those are the things that I think we can invest more when the game is more stable and big. Which is okay. We are the restaurant is ready to go. Now we can put more foods there and like desserts and all of that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I think those things will come to happen naturally, different ways. I think there was actually I'm sorry about the person that gave this idea on Reddit, but it was something that we even shared within the team. It was quite cool, which was to make this the respawn icon to monetize that with different icons. And
Oh yeah.
I think it was a
Oh
subject that we
yes.
already talked,
Yeah.
because it's very Rocket League kind of thing. Rocket League it does very well into monetizing these kind of things, and we thought, oh, look, great idea here. Let's do this. But of course, right now, like improving the monetization aspects of the game, it's not a priority because it's not the problem right now, right? So our tendency is to solve the problem, not double down on, because investing on more monetization or even cosmetic or anything, there's a lot of work to make it better, but it's not what's going to make the game thrive, right? What makes the game thrive is the game itself, the core gameplay and the long-term progress and all of that. When that is solved, then we can invest on monetization, which is, making the best of what we have. But right now, like investing a lot of energy and time into monetization without first solving the game itself, that will be, let's say, a waste of energy, because let's face it, there's also the possibility that we're not going to make it. So we need to put all the energy into make sure that not going to happen, that the game is going to be successful.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
who
I
it's
mean,
addressed to, Pample. Oh, sorry, HX, go ahead.
yeah, I wanted to come back to the character level because it's not just something you want to show off. I think it's important for the team itself because the whales or the people that put most money are maybe very important as well when it comes to making money. Now, I know it's not the priority, but when you go from old co where your whole badge, what it was as a center of your screen, was showing it off to just something on your profile, it actually hurts a lot. So that's why the question has been brought
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I totally agree with that. That in that regard was a step back for those who care about the collector level. That I agree for sure.
Yeah, it brings me to the career level, because now the career level is basically the old collector level, but then 10 levels is one old one. How do I say this? One level in the old MOCO is now 10 levels in the new career level batch. So that would mean around level 499, that would be the maximum reward you have, which is purple. Then at 500, will there be something else? Because now we don't have the numeral things anymore, because the elite badges are there. The elite, is there like a way you're gonna change this, or will it go back to bronze? But
The
then,
color.
yeah. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
You mean the career level?
Yeah.
You're
So
talking about career level.
So now,
Yes.
now every
right.
100 levels, it upgrades to like a different tier. It used to be 10 levels, now it's 100. So at level 500, we should go back to bronze with like a one numeral thing. But because the elite banner is at the bottom, we cannot do that Roman number thing. So are we going to go back to bronze, or will there be something new after purple, or will it just cap at purple, or is this something that I still have to fix in the future maybe?
Good question. Maybe you won't have a career level when you get to 500, and you'll have something else. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, right? But yeah, probably something. Then we'll have something. Of course, right now the career level, the maximum that you have is 100 something. So that's going to be a season 5 kind of thing. But yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Actually, me personally, I didn't thought about it. I'm sure like the other people in the team thought about it. I haven't thought about it yet. But I'm sure that something's going to be addressed. But I don't have an answer right now for that.
You have time.
Yeah, not that much time because
two more.
You only have.
Yeah, we get like 120
those
levels or
things-
something
You don't
now.
have time. You don't have time.
Yeah. And then the vacation.
No, that's true. The thing is that those things need updates, right? So, so if you miss the boat, then you either put let's say a non-mandatory update or something like that. But that definitely that's something that we don't have that much time now.
I see a question about auto translator of messages in chat. Will this be a thing in the future?
Auto translation.
So if there's like someone talking in Spanish, for example, and I'm English, I can just press a button and it will translate it.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the small.
Yeah,
the small things that
yeah.
I gotta be honest. Like those things is not even on the middle of our mind. Okay. Right now, our mind is like long-term progression and like the gameplay loop and all of that. That's what we're concerned. Those things are very important, but there are even more important stuff that's on our mind. Like to be very, very honest. So there's that. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay.
There was a question earlier about if you could remove one thing from the game, what would it be?
Me?
That's a good one.
Me, Joao, or as the team?
No, I think you.
Me, Joao. What I would remove from the game? What I would remove from the game? That's a good question.
I have my answer personally.
Let me think.
3 letters, PvP.
Oh yeah, PvP definitely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
Yeah, definitely PvP.
If you're saying Drainer now, you're getting cancelled. Okay.
No, never.
That one it back. Yeah. Where's Drainer, Joao? Where's Drainer?
Where is Drainer? Where is Drainer?
There's a lot of love for Drainer. Yeah.
I know, it's crazy. That's good to see, because that's one of the reasons that backs up the idea that lore is a good direction and players engage with it. I mean, we didn't even try that hard with Oldco in terms of lore. This is bad to say because there's a lot of passionate people in the team that work on those things. What I'm saying is that we didn't went full effort on the lore thing, and it still there was a lot of love about our characters and our lore. So just shows the possibility that we have. But yeah, I think definitely PvP. I would remove it just because it's undercooked, and I wouldn't put it there honestly. But that's just me.
No, not just you. Don't worry.
Yeah. I would be tempted to say this would be more of a less popular opinion, which is if I had to choose something more meaningful, I would choose upgrade cars to replace with something more meaningful, like a truer power progression or no power progression at all, either. But I feel like for me, upgrade cars are a bit in the middle. So it's not giving me the power progression satisfaction, but it's giving me the power progression trade-offs, which is I play something and I was like, is it me or is it the lack of cars? But then when I get the cars, I don't feel, I feel more powerful, right? But luckily, it seems like we are looking into it.
We went over.
I remember a question. Yeah, we went over. But I just have a question. It's not in the chat, but I know a lot of people have been asking regarding the current in-game events. We have in expeditions. We have so a double XP event that happens every an hour and 15 minutes, and every 5 events an OC, an overcharge alert events. And people are feeling like it's really not that much, especially compared to old Co. And we're wondering if you're planning to make these events happen sooner, or if you had ideas for other new events.
You mean those 5-minute events, or
yeah, exactly.
that happens on Worlds? Again, it's a bit hard to talk about those smaller things when the whole world has a lot of problems with the current world. So if we're going to do something about it, yes, and much more than that, I'd say.
Okay, perfect.
I see a question regarding being a community manager. What's the most rewarding part of being MOCO's community manager, Joao?
Well, one of those things is exactly what we're doing right now, which is being on live with you guys and talking with the players directly. That's very rewarding. Something that I wish I could have done more and have more time and availability to talk with everyone. It's also super rewarding to work with a game that you really like, because you don't always have that luck. Sometimes you're a community manager of a game that you don't resonate with, and that you still do your job and it's good, but it's not the same as working for a game that you definitely have passion. So I'm, again, very lucky to work with a game like MOCO. Might have its issues, and we're still working towards making the game better, but it's still, for me, it's a great game, and it's super cool to play. Yeah, and working with such an amazing team with so many smart and talented people, it's definitely rewarding. I don't know, so many things that are rewarding. Being a community manager for MOCO, doing the crazy videos that sometimes we do, and it's also cool. It's mostly because every day is different and you do different things every day. So there's that.
Okay. I see 2 great questions. The first one is more for the game. Can we go more in depth with the thing of why we have 1 expedition now instead of 3? I think the change made farming XP a lot harder. So we talked about this early in the stream, but not really about the problem of like not being able to deplete our XP quickly now. Is there a way we could deplete our XP faster? Because now it's very, very hard to really cap out your XP.
Yeah, one thing that one good thing of doing this AMAs live is that because, it's not just someone texting something, it's me talking, which I feel it's more human. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, maybe the information gets lost because it's me. I hope someone out there is like watching the live stream, and then they're going to put the most important topics that I said. I don't know if someone is doing that. If not, maybe I'll do it myself or something. Because now I'm getting questions that I already answered 2 hours ago, which is normal because the information is not written. But yeah, again, I'm going to tell again, why is only 1 expedition? It's just one of the many tests that we've been doing to see how the content works in different ways for different people. The reason is not as obvious. It might be a bad decision, again, to put 1 expedition only. But one thing that we noticed is that players that engage more with rifts tend to engage more with the game and play the game longer. Because, again, rifts are more engaging, are more varied and a bit more maybe interesting than open areas that we're just roaming around and farming. And because of that, we're trying to give more spotlight to rifts. That's why you only see one expedition, because many new players would open the game, play open worlds because that's the first thing and the main thing that's there, and then you don't play rifts because it feels like open worlds is much more important for the game than rifts. Of course, we can move things around and all of that, but at the end of the day, expeditions are also the main source of your progression. So that's why also we put more upgrade cars on rifts, and of course we put them in open areas, less in dojos and all of that. But we're also giving those rewards to rifts and trying to put rifts more on spotlight and see how players resonate and all of that. So yeah, that's mostly why we tried out this.
Can I ask something related to this? Because he was talking about depleting your XP, and I think that's maybe a problem. Is that the designers don't necessarily want the players to deplete XP. That's why we don't know how much XP we have available. It's not shown anywhere, and it's a very high amount that is technically is not reachable. The problem is that some players reach it, and some players only reach it every day, and that makes it so everyone thinks, oh, I have to do this XP every day because it is the amount given to me, when it's actually maybe not the case. So do you see an issue there with this enormous amount? Because with Xpect and I have been talking about this 300k chaos energy we get every day, but you, Joe, you've never talked about it. I feel like there's a reason behind that. You don't necessarily want people to know how much it is and how long it is. And we're reaching a problem with this.
Yeah, it's a problem because if you remember old school, the XP was very little. It was a problem as well, right? A lot of people would complain that they would burn the XP very quick, and it was kind of less same, nothing to do or anything. I don't remember very well, but there was a problem with that. And now with the Neo MOCO, you have like technically a large amount of XP, which you're not communicating because we don't want to also, incentivize people to, to play for hours. So it's just like, let's say, virtually unlimited XP. But then, of course, the more engaged players are chasing that, and they want to know how much they have or not. So there's always a problem with, or maybe the problem here is the XP itself. I don't know. Maybe something needs here to be reworked. But it's one of those things that there's a problem in both sides, right? With showing, not showing, with having little, having more. Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Okay.
I've seen a question from Chief Nerd a bit earlier. Question to Joao. What is your advice on someone who's trying to be a MOCO creator? Like, what do they have to do to really go to the steps of becoming a MOCO creator, but also to becoming, like, getting an upgrade to like a super, to the tiers?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two people in this live stream more better to answer that, but I'm still gonna give my shot. But then I'm gonna let you answer that. From the years that I've been working as a CM, all the creators that I work with, they always have this one common trait. All of them might be very different, but all of them are super, super, super passionate about the game. That's one thing. So if you have the passion, that's one thing. That's just the starter. But like crazy passionate, like creators are the most crazy passionate people about the game. Whatever gamer I've worked with, it was always the case. So that's one of the predictors of success is if you're crazy about the game. If you're not crazy about the game, it's going to be harder for you to have success. Just for the fact of, I observe that every creator that I work that are successful, it's also super, super passionate about the game. But that's just one thing. What I would say is that more importantly, find your brand, find your own style. And I think both of you have are a very clear example of that. I don't think there's any other MOCO creator than HX and Expectation. You both of you have very, how do I say, very well-defined brands. And another thing is like being a newcomer, being the first one in your area. So don't try to mimic or replicate what others are doing. Take inspiration, but be yourself, be your own self, and put your charisma out there. I think those are predictors of being a good creator. And then there are those technicalities or anything that you guys know more than me. But I will let you talk because you know more than me
Can I
about this.
ask one more question about this? Do you need to have your voice, your webcam as a creator to be able to be upgraded to a super? Or can you be like, if you have like a low file channel, can you also become a creator? Like a super
No, we
creator, I
have.
mean?
Yeah, so on MOCO we don't have yet, but I know that on Brawl there's a lot of good creators that don't have camera. I think there was. I hope I'm not saying something bad. I think there was Crying Man. I think he's a super creator and he only does content without camera. A lot of esports players do content without camera as well, and they are super creators. I think.
But without voice and camera, I mean, like only text, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything is possible. It might be harder just for the fact that it's harder for you to put your brand without voice and camera. So if you're not putting voice or camera, then make sure your content is very distinctive. Like the editing style or the humor or something else needs to be very different than something else. That's what you need to do to not to be a super creator is a consequence. It's not a goal. Super creator is a consequence. The goal is for to be a good creator, that a reference, right? And then you become a super creator as a consequence. So yeah, be like distinctive. Do something that no one else is doing for your game, and that's it. I think that's how I see creators thriving. Are the ones that are more charismatic, distinctive, and also newcomers. So if you're doing something that someone else is already doing for a long time, even if it's a little better, it's not going to be enough. If you come second place doing exactly the same thing, imagine now that comes another expectation, let's say, like creating contents, like giving advice to people with the same style, and maybe for some reason they're going to be, I can't imagine this in any way, but a bit better than expectation. Maybe they have a prettier tree or in the background, I don't know. That's not going to be enough to take expectation out of his throne, I'd say, or take his audience, because
yeah, I think it works, but it needs to be much better. It's the same with phones, right? When you have Apple or Android, it needs to be significantly better to like swap it. Because if it's just a little bit better, people are so used to that brand, to that creator, they're going to stick with them, you know? So it's really solid
basically
what you're saying. Yeah. Do you want to add something to that, HX?
Regarding the becoming a creator, well,
Yeah.
my situation is a bit interesting because I never planned to become one. Started my channel only with MOCO, and I only wanted to put stuff that I cared about for myself. But as soon as I started becoming bigger, I think two things I always did was between every video, I wanted to improve one thing all the time, whether it was spacing, whether it was adding the music in the background, I don't know, doing a bit more editing, zooming here and there or whatever. Between each video, every time, making sure that you are improving one thing is, I think, so much important to improve your content and then have people actually noticing it, which is quite insane. And I feel like as long as you're consistent, you should just grow, and whenever time comes, it will come, I guess. I'm not really into that world a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but from what I saw, yeah, being consistent and always trying to improve is what can definitely help you out. Because I saw so many channels, and it's not even related to MOCO. It can be anything, even channels that have millions of subscribers, and you look at all their thumbnails, they're exactly the same. How they speak in the video, they're exactly the same. And yes, the channel is big, but I don't feel like it's going to grow anymore if you're never trying to improve
Innovate.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, innovate. And also, I feel like this is very toxic with the YouTube world, not even YouTube, any social media. Don't ever try to compare yourself to others. The only person you have to compare yourself to is yourself. Because if you start comparing yourself to others when it comes to stats or whatever, you will always find something bigger than you. Besides Mr. Beast, you will always find someone that has better stats than you. And so it's sometimes a lot of demotivation. But you can, of course, take inspiration from what others are doing, but never look at the stats themselves.
Yeah. That's so true. A lot of beginner YouTubers start to compare, and then they're like obsessing over someone else's channel. I'm like, obsess over your own channel. Obsess over what I did for my channel was, I had this idea in mind. I'm talking to a specific person. So in my head, I have a person in my mind that I want to make content for. And for me, that is more the casual Joe. He just picked up the game, or he has picked up the game for like a little bit. He knows the game a little bit, but not like super sweaty. I think your audience is more sweaty, like top end players, like that play the game for a long time.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I'm really like have a casual in my mind, and that's what I'm making content for, and it makes it much more easier to direct my channel. If you try to cater to everyone, you might not cater to anyone, because not anyone feels included, if that makes sense. So try to really figure out what you like making, whether it's like an audience, like what people want to watch, because a lot of the times, sometimes you need to make videos that people want to watch and not the video that you want to make. That's also something that people tend to forget. And it's just, all about growing, keep improving, focus on one thing. Don't focus on views and subs. Focus on improvement in your videos every time. Like Xpect said, do one thing. If it sounds, it doesn't have to be better quality of microphone or whatever. Like the microphone is important. But just keep improving one thing, and you'll see over time, if you keep consistent with it, don't quit too early. I know it's very harsh and punishing in the beginning when you have lower views, but don't focus on the views, focus on the improvements, and that will get you places. Yeah, you need to like the game, but you also need to like the process of constantly researching, looking what others are doing, so you can have ideas. But also, just playing the game enough to understand if there's a lot of questions coming on. This would be a good idea to make a video about, because people keep asking the same question. There's like a lot that goes into it. So I hope that answer helps.
I will just quickly say, this is something I noticed such a difference pre-Neo and after Neo. Pre-Neo, I always was the one finding the IDs of my videos. After Neo, I just had so many times the same question in my YouTube comments or live streams that I never had to think about what I could do. I just know that so many people ask the same thing. There's a point where it even annoys me, so I want to make a video so people stop asking. It gets to this point. So
and even then they ask.
Easy with Neo. Yeah. And even then they ask. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do like one or two more questions to wrap it up. What do you think?
That sounds good to me. I think like the questions are now like the
more
ones or
it's more off topic now. I want to also quickly say, guys, I'm doing a giveaway for skins. So there's 5 legendary skins and some basic skins in my Discord. So after the stream has ended, be sure to go there so you can have a chance to get a skin as well. The first ever skin you can get in MOCO. I forgot the name, the one with the wings.
Oh.
So very, very special. Nice. But let's do 1 or 2 more questions. I'll maybe drop the Discord in there too.
I have a question that is a bit more personal to Joao, but I don't know if you mind.
Let's go.
So whenever people talk to you, Joao, it's always about MOCO, right? Because you're the community manager, and it's always something about MOCO. Isn't there a point where it gets tiring? Because no one, if I come to you and say, hey, how are you? You might always think that I'm going to talk MOCO after that. But what if I tell you just, how are you as yourself? Isn't it tiring to always be linked to MOCO all the time? Do you feel that?
That's a good question. No. I mean, I have a life outside of MOCO, of course, and
what?
There's people in my life that, it's crazy, right? No, what I'm saying is that there's also people that are not related to MOCO where where I talk to, and I talk a lot about other stuff. So, no, not really. I never thought about that, actually.
So that means it's not a problem. No. It's fine. It's great.
No, not at all. I like to talk about MOCO. No, I don't mind at all. That's a good question, but no, I don't get tired of talk. Again, if my life was only MOCO, maybe I would get tired, but no, I don't think so. But you're free to come to talk to me and ask me how am I, and we talk about life. That's not MOCO. If you want, I'm always happy for that. Let's talk about other stuff, maybe other games.
I'll let you pick the final question, Joao, out of the chat, or if you have any question that pops up in your head, you can...
Yeah, I'm navigating through here. First of all, I see a lot of cool, cool and very positive comments and very supportive comments, which I appreciate. Everyone being on chat and making those questions and sending those kind of comments. I really appreciate. Yeah, the questions that I have, I'm seeing is mostly like repeating stuff that we talked about. So I'm struggling to pick one that it's.
I'll pick one more, and this is a very big statement from Sasrump.
Okay, let's do it.
Was the cats vs dogs event rigged? Because the cats are like in cages, you kill them and you get them, but with the sniffers you have to chase them all around the world, hoping they don't die. What's your take on that?
Yeah. That's a good question. Actually, we didn't talk about it, and the event didn't go that well. I think one of the issues with this event was that it's still a bit kind of unpredictable for us how many people are gonna save the cats and the dogs. And then the idea is that we had an event for one, and then we had an event for the other. But I think because there was no like a lot of backgrounds with Neo MOCO, with how people engage with the sniffers and the tactic cats and all of that, I guess there was a miscalculation there. But yeah, I still have to look into it. What went wrong, because the event did not go as well as planned because of that. Cats won too easily, and of course there was already an issue with the event, because it's much easier to save cats than dogs, so you have to compensate somewhere in some way. But definitely it was a miscalculation there. The event did not go as well. But community events in general, that's something that we also talk a lot as a team, which is our current tech doesn't allow us to put community events on the spotlight a bit more. They're always hidden under this, or you talk with Jax, or you go to the news. And then it also doesn't allow us to invest more on those events. I still think there is a lot of potential in community events, especially for a PvE game, and very different community events than, for example, other Supercell games do. But I think we still didn't hit the mark on those ones. But I also think the game is still not supporting those very well. And I guess sometimes it's a bit of trying to do, a bit of everything, and then by trying to do a bit of everything, there's always one or another thing that doesn't go as well. But that's also how we take data and learn to do better. But for sure, this one was not the one that went quite well. Actually, we haven't been too successful with community events, I feel. Maybe we need to revisit how we do them, because to be honest, like most of them were not like huge successes. Maybe the one that people pet the cat, people kind of liked, because that was the fun part of petting the cat, but it was nothing super meaningful. So that's something that we need to revisit to make those better.
Would the team be? Oh, sorry. Would the team be?
No, I was just.
Would the team be open
just
to? Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Just to kick off, and just to match with another question that people were talking about lore and everything, and there's definitely ideas and hunger to match those. Like being the community involved with lore through community events. That's one way that we might try it out at some point.
Okay, I wanted to ask: would it be an option for the teams to still get the Wolf title to everyone if we reach the milestones, not just have one? So we can have the Wolf and the Meow if we reach the master for the Wolves, of course. Because now it's like one exclusive and the other you can't get anymore if it's like later.
Yeah, but that was how the event was designed. We either get one or get the other, right?
Yeah.
So Cats one, you get the Meow one. The one thing that you can still get is the hat one, because the idea was that the event would be more balanced and would be more tight. And of course, then the title will be decided by the one who won. It was not supposed to end that early. But contrary to what people think, no, we don't manipulate the events or anything. Whatever it is, it is. If it failed, it failed. We had the other one, which was the invite thing. It didn't go well. We assumed, hey, it didn't go well. We didn't get the goal. So, and then we did another event to give players the rewards that they didn't get on the event below. But you either win or you don't. Like just to manipulate the results, just to feel like it was a success and everything was fun and tight and gets won by a nail. No, we're not going to do that. It's either doing honestly or we don't.
I have one more final question because apparently this was an L question from my side. They also ask, so when can we, I think we went on this point already. When can we expect like something new? Do we have to wait until August for something new to show up or?
Yeah,
what?
So there's already like, in terms of contents, there's going to be like new stuff still in the scope of how the game is. So you're going to still see new stuff. And of course, every season going to have new weapons, some cool stuff, some variations in events on everything. But like to be very transparent here, I wouldn't expect a big update, let's say before maybe October. We're going to have a small update in I think August or September. Most likely, this is still not confirmed, but maybe something big more later, because now it's going to be the time that we're going to look also at how did these 2 seasons or 2.5 season went, well or wrong, and make big decisions. So it's a bit like that. New game, bigger decision, less or bigger changes, less bigger changes, less bigger changes until you get it right, and then the changes start to be kind of in a different way. But yeah, right now we're going to be like mixing a bit of going for our vision, but also be reactive, which gives us, let's say, a bit more time to also address the issues and then go for big changes. Yeah.
Okay. I think with all that said, we'll wrap it up. I want to
Yes.
say thank you
last question.
Yeah.
I still have one question to answer just because it's a fun one.
Okay.
Because someone asked me what got Joao into gaming. I don't know if that's professionally or personally, but just for I'm a 41-year-old guy. I'm an old guy already. But when I was a kid, I was playing very old games on MS-DOS, which is this very old operating system. That's where I started playing games, like very pixel games. So now people play pixel games for fun, like Minecraft and all of that. But back then, we really needed, there was no other option. I played a lot of Tomb Raider and Rayman and I don't know what else, and Broken Sword, these point-and-clicker games that I was mentioning. Of course, I played those old Sonics and Super Marios as well. That's where I started to play games, and of course, then it evolved into. Everyone knows how I like Hollow Knight and these Metroidvania games as well. But yeah, that's mostly it. Yeah, just to kick off, and of course, again, now things are going to be a bit quiet during this summer period, but then I'll be back in around August to feel more juice for sure.
Okay. With all that said, I'm going to thank you both for your time, HX and Joao. If your guys in the chat are curious, their socials are linked in the description of this video too. So if you want to check them out on Twitter or YouTube, you can. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all these questions. Please keep them coming for like future videos. Like there is always feedback that you can give in the Discord or Reddit. The devs do read it, maybe after the vacation, of course, but they will read it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for positive vibes, everyone.